hearing a lot from members this week. A lot of people are chatting a little bit about what we can do and how we can change and things that can go on, et cetera. And just now we're talking about email addresses. For you new members, we do not have a membership list. We got rid of that because we never had one. But we have what's called a contact list. And it's available through our website. And the deal is just this. If you want to share your information with other members of this club, all you have to do is put that information in our chat. Whatever you want to share, there's no requirements, no restrictions, no limitations, none of that. It's just, see that chat? Put my name, Eddie Castellan. I live in New Orleans. Well, really, it's Old Jefferson. My phone number is right here. And I tell you what, I don't use that phone number so much, I'd have to look it up. My address, et cetera, et cetera. If you're looking to get a hold of me, it's how you do it. And you put it in the chat. Our webmaster, probably the finest webmaster in the entire world, is going to take that information and put it on our contact list. How do you get a copy? Well, you go to contact, and up there they got a little square. It says contact list, member list. Click on it. You fill out the form exactly as it says. Exactly. Every dot, every line, every phrase, every comma, everything, and you send it in. And it's got a little place where you uncheck or you do check and things. Follow the directions because that's going to keep the iBots from getting those lists. And then a minute or two later, because Dave's pretty quick, you'll get a copy of the most recent list. That's how simple it is. There's
Don't forget the password.
Oh, come on. Why would you do that, Carl? There's no password. Why would you? We were joking with you about that. You didn't get one, did you?
Oh. Well, the participants list has a chat or a password.
Participants.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that for the barter list? For the barter list?
Oh, to get the list, Eddie, you got to put in the right password to get the list if they don't spell it out right.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Carl. You're right. And look at Dave laughing at me about this. It's yeah, Dave did this to me. It's Captain, CAPTAAN with a capital C. CAPTAAN is the subject of the password, yes. But it's just to keep the iBots away so that everybody doesn't get a ton of mail and stuff. And that's how you find folks. And save it. Save it to your notes on your pad or your phone or whatever. And I use it. That's how I got a hold of Dane to let Dane and a handful of other folks by accident know about a thing that went down this week with stickers. We still got a bunch of stickers. And I'm ready to order the new stickers. I think I told the boss I want to do that by October 14th. So we'll have the new stickers coming in. We got to have a bunch of stickers to pass out for the Tennessee area woodturns TAW event in January. And I just got a note from Colin. He's in Great Britain. And Colin wanted to know how he could get about 25 stickers to pass out to his members. Colin, we got you taken care of, bud. Tomorrow or Friday, the boss and I are going to clean up some stuff in the old shop and get to those envelopes, and I'll get a roll of 25 stickers rolled up and sent on out to you, and you'll be able to pass those out to your members. We'll take care of it for you, bud. We will. And that's what we do. We're just trying to spread the word on worldwidewoodturners.org. And we appreciate it if you do that too. And remember, Dane's mission, he doesn't talk about it very much. His mission is to put a worldwide woodturner sticker on every demonstration lathe in the world. So if you can help us do that, yes, that's the goal. That's the mission. If you can help us do that on your club lathe, yes, right there. Worldwide woodturners, right on the side of it. Let them know we're there. I'm seeing, but I looked at Doug Miller's demo yesterday. I saw the sticker. I looked at Carl's demo the other day. I saw the sticker. I looked at, well, I don't want to mention his name. He's a professional woodturner who's got his own thing, and he's got a sticker. So hey, we're getting around. That's what we want to do. We get everybody involved. And invite a friend. Whatever you do, invite a friend. I'm looking for photographs. Really, the website's kind of drying up a little bit on photographs, folks. So if you turn in wood, we want you to show you. It's a chance for you to, number one, it's a chance for you to show off your work. Number two, you get to excite my brain waves into what you're creating and how you're doing it. Now, I have a disease. Was caused by Agent Orange, and my brain is deteriorating to a certain degree. I'm living with it. I'm not giving up on it. It's taken a lot of my mobility away and such, but I still love to look at what you come up with. And you come up with some really great stuff. I saw a piece that Glenn Scoba sent this in on the Facebook thing about a year ago. A piece he turned, a really beautiful art piece. And I reposted it on Facebook again because it is truly a work of art. Gorgeous piece of wood turned. Great planning and execution. But it's one of those pieces that you look at and you say, how in the hell did he do that? And the next question is, why in the hell did he do that? And then you look at it and say, wow, can I do that? Sure you can. And that's why we're here. You see, it's thought-provoking. It gets you thinking about, wow, I could do that with such and such. I could do this. And I got a piece that came off of and we all have them. I mean, I saw Doug Miller a couple of weeks ago, the block, he said he pulled off of something and he turned a platter out of it. And y'all may have seen it. The video's available on YouTube. And he showed the piece on our show, on our meeting, and that's on our website where all the shows are, and showed the piece. See the figuration in that wood? Now, take that piece of wood and do what Glenn did to that orbiting piece. Really interesting. And you see, all these photographs you send would get your mind to cooking. Oh yeah, get away from the books. Get away from that. Start looking at what the other guys turn, what the other gals turn, come up with. I see this week that Brenda posted some pictures of the log people, just like Ruby. She did log people like Ruby. She had a whole log family on a table, and she posted it on Facebook this week. And I like the Ruby. Brenda's eyes really look good, and that's something you can play with. And that now, she can take her. It's holiday time. That's what you put on the tables to create a little chatting when you go to Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, etc.
Brenda's going to make them to fit on her porch.
Really? That'd be so cool.
Yeah, she's going to make some porch size.
And don't forget, Halloween's coming up. We were sitting with the nurse yesterday, and she says, "I'm dyeing my hair orange for Halloween." And I looked over and I said, "Really?" And she said, "I saw the way you looked at me," and I said, "You think this is a look? Where do you dye your hair orange?" She said, "Yeah, we're gonna do a little shock treatment up here." I said, "Yeah, you're in the brain section of the hospital. That's why I'm here. You don't really want to do that kind of shock treatment." But they're and I got, when I was sitting there waiting my turn, I was looking at Brenda's photographs, and I'm thinking that could be a cool looking piece to go on a table at a Halloween party. A little piece along like that with those eyes that Brenda did, and orange hair or green hair or whatever. Think about it. There are no rules. That's the beauty of doing that kind of work. There are no rules. Whatever you do, whatever holds, works. And you get all this from Ruby out of Canada. She comes up with this kind of stuff. And every time we look at Ruby's shop, and she's got those little people sitting next to her, everybody stops and looks at it. They want to zoom in on a picture of it. Listen, oh, look, she got that. Yeah, it's those little things that just not anybody can do. And as Kim Tippin used to tell us, there's no scrap wood, it's just projects you haven't turned yet. Those may really make you pay attention to it.
Well, there you go, Eddie. Here's one of them for you.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like the little green.
Well, what I had to do was make these up for the wood mill, and they wanted one for each of the guys that works there. And then I've got these made up with their name on it that I'll attach on for Christmas.
That is so cool.
So
But that's
did you
just scrap wood.
did you do a likeness for all of the workers there, Ruby?
Yeah, the tall, skinny one here is his son Peter.
See how much fun you can have? That can be a lot of fun. I'm having a birthday party in a couple of weeks, and I'd love to have something like that on the table for all my grandkids and all my kids. Just to spark a little excitement, because I'm always trying to lively up the thing a little bit. It's not supposed to be plain. You know, they're on my case right now because I tell them it's the 75th anniversary of the 75th celebration of my birth. And my daughters immediately say, "You're not 75, Dad." I said, "No, but I'm the first son to a Dago, and I can guarantee he celebrated the day I was born." So I had that day and 74 more. So
Yep.
we're gonna party hardy. And my wife wishes somebody could pick us up and bring us over there so she could have a beer. Won't let her drink if she's driving.
You know, Eddie, we did the same thing when my son was born. We had a big birthday cake when we brought him home with a big 0 on top, and celebrated every year since.
That's it. You know, you do.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, but my kids are exact. You know, it's gotta. You know, you can't say that number, Dad, if that's not the right number. I can tell you, my dad didn't come home that night. You know, so he was someplace partying. Yeah, he had 2 girls. He waited for the son, and you know, it's just the way things happen in the 40s.
sure.
So, but that comes up October the 6th. I'll be here a couple of days before. It's kind of cool.
It's October the 6th.
My birthday is October 6th. Yes, ma'am.
Well, mine's the next day.
Great. All right. I'll be looking for you.
And I think we're the same age.
1949.
Like I said, I think we're the same age.
Yeah. They only made good stuff back then. You know that, Ruby.
Yeah.
That's true. We were made to last.
Yeah. I wish they'd told me that 25 years ago. But,
Better yet, 50 years ago.
yeah.
Mm.
It's funny. We go sit in these workshops at the hospital and we'll listen to these folks talk about, you know, getting into your senior years, and a whole bunch of these 60-year-old folks are in the class, and I said, "You don't know anything." Said, "You don't know that. Wait 10 years, then you'll know what it means to get into your senior years. When your whole week is playing around, when you don't have to go to the doctor." You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually, if I'm with a group of people talking like that, I'll say, "And what are you going to do when you get my age?" And they look at me strange, like, "We're older than you." And they're younger by anywhere from 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, they don't realize that all this old stuff is really not by calendar. It's how you feel on the inside and how your brain works and what you want to do. It was, you know, this tumor thing's been going on with me for 9 years, and it took until just last year when a guy said, "You do know it's not something that'll heal; it'll go away," and yada yada yada. And one doctor just said, it just isn't going to heal and go away. So what do? You either ignore it or you accept it. and thought about that for a long time. I said, you know what? If I don't do something about it, it's just going to take, it's going to rule things. It's going to be in charge. Hey, hell with that. I'm not ready for that. So it's not in charge. It's not ruling things. Make some changes and get over it. And that's what we're doing. And I tell you, the best move I made was following one guy's directions. And my tools are gone because that was a terrible burden. I couldn't work with them anymore. You don't have the dexterity or the know-how to work with things. And it was very encumbering to have me here and not be able to use them. But I have an apprentice. And I made the best move in the world. This young man, well, he's 49, has taken the tools and taken over where I left off. And he really has. He's an excellent mechanic. He's a great turner. He's a good human being. He really is. He's a great person. And when he comes by, he's take care of our property and our lawn. But every week we go over what we're working on, what we're doing. What we are doing together as a team. And every week we have a little project. And we talk about how this can happen, how that can happen. I'll grab pieces off the internet and send it to them and show them little ideas. And here's a guy that thought a thin walled vessel was maybe an inch thick.
Oh my.
Yeah, that was thin wall was maybe an inch thick. And last week, Tommy brought over a piece that was about a quarter inch thick. And I said, you're getting close. And he said, it scared the hell out of me. And I said, stop turning cedar. That's number one. We're going to stop turning cedar because it explodes. And, but he went away with some ash and some maple from me. So he's got some nice blocks to turn. But it's just, you have to challenge it. And to give him a challenge, and show him how to use the tools. And he watches every one of our meetings to see the demonstrations, every one of them. And somebody, I think it was Miller, turned a platter a week or two ago. Did you turn a platter?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And he said, I saw that guy with that platter, and I got to thinking, if I took a soldering iron and I did such and such, and I said, a soldering iron, I said, you do know when that big blue box marked Christmas ornaments is a heat gun engraver and also an NSK. And he said, is that the thing with the point? I said, yeah, you didn't watch the video, did you? No. So now he's supposed to went back and play with the NSK, so he could learn how to do engraving. His wife probably never speak to me again, because he's dedicated about a 20,000 square foot garage to or 2,000 square foot garage he's got. It's just a turning and gizmo shop, but he's learning. And you really feel good when that happens. When you take on somebody, take on a kid, take on a grandkid, the male kid, whatever. I got one down the street. I taught him how to fix a bicycle 5 years ago. He came by walking his bike because the chain came off. He walked it down to the levee, and then he walked it back from the levee. And coming back, I said, why don't you ride your bike? Well, the chain came off, and my dad doesn't know how to fix it. Flipped it over, showed him how to put the chain on, showed him how to tighten it up, showed him how to adjust it, how to put the brakes. I'm an old bicycle kid from 4 years old. You know that? We all were. I looked at it and said, I wouldn't ride that thing. And he said, why? It's the brakes don't work. No matter what, you got to stop. And so I fixed the brakes and all for him. He came by the other day, and he's on a raggedy bike going by, and he stopped. He said, hey, Captain Eddie, take a look at this. I got this out of Mr. Lawn's junk pile and fixed it up. It was a bicycle probably older than me, but it looked good. And it was taken care of. And he put it all back together. He did. His dad's a barber. Dad doesn't do bicycles. But he was so proud that he learned how to fix a bike. So take one under your wings. Take him in the back. Show him how to do something simple. Want a challenge? I applied for a job with a construction company in Marfa, Texas. When I came out the Air Force, they sent me to Marfa, Texas. And I was going to be an assistant superintendent. And when I showed up, I talked to a guy, Harry Langland. And I said, hi, I'm Eddie. I was here to such and such. And he said, see that file? Go over there and get some stuff out and build me a sawhorse. I said, build a sawhorse? Yeah, right there. So I went over and got the file and cut out a sawhorse. Brought it back and I said, why am I building a sawhorse? He was kind of carpenter. I says, I'm a pretty good carpenter, but I'm here to be a superintendent. He goes, oh, damn, wrong job. Okay. His test to see if you were a carpenter was build a sawhorse. Because if you know how to do that, how in the hell could you build the rest of the house? And
then build it out of two construction grade 2x4s.
yeah. And I worked with that man for the next 20 years. And I learned so much from him because it was back to basics every day. Stop and think what you were told when you went to kindergarten. Stop. He's just put the brakes on. Don't worry about all that. Put the brakes on. Think about it all the way through, then go do it. We've talked about here in these meetings. Step up to your lathe. Before you press that on button, count to 5. Why count to 5? Put your thoughts together. Put your shield on. Think about what you're going to do. What can happen? And what might happen? Then press that button and get started. But if you just step up and say, oh, what the hell? Think about that, what the hell? We're not in there to do that. I don't see any children in this meeting. We're all adults. We're all of age. So plot it out, plan it out. Take a kid under your wing. I'd love to see that. We'll do gallery tonight, folks. You got something to show in gallery? Dane handles gallery. All you have to do is tell us you have something for the gallery. I have something later on. I have something because I wanted a shirt from SWAT. That was a couple of weeks ago. And I got my request into Joaquin Minson a little bit late. And he couldn't get me the shirt I wanted from SWAT. But he got me another shirt. I like it. So I'm going to put that shirt on and show it to you later. Because this one, like the sum of your life, when you put this on. If you're a wood turner, you'll understand it straight up as soon as you see it. But I'll show it to you later on. Joaquin checks in the 8 o'clock hour, 8 o'clock Central Hour. But we're talking about that and a whole lot more. We've got a great demonstration for you tonight, folks. And if you got something to show off, talk about, got a question, you got something came up, this is a place to do it. It is the only place in the world you can do that. The only place in the world you can do it. And it's your club. What's up?
Well, we got a couple gallery items. Let's knock a few out here. It's 1:15, and hopefully we'll be doing a safety later on, and then after that we'll be getting on to our high-end demonstration we got scheduled for this evening. So without further ado, let's go to Doug Miller. Come on down and show us what you got.
All right.
Doug, you got to start your video.
Well,
Oh, I gotta go find your other Doug Miller, don't I?
He's up now.
Do the other one. Do the other one.
There you go.
The one just talking. Hello, hello, hello. Wanted to show you all the platter that I had started last week, I guess it was, on when we did our demo and we dyed it and all of that fun stuff. And we got a little bit of a gloss to it.
Wow.
Lots of
That came
nice
out
ripple in
pretty.
it.
Beautiful.
That is
What's
gorgeous.
in the back?
Very nice.
There again, it's only 3/4 of an inch total. We started off 1 inch thick and it's 3/4 of an inch now. Lacquer on the top. It's a wax finish on the back side. You know, for a judge piece, it would not work because it still has the hole in it. I realized that just the other day that I messed up. This was supposed to be the top. No problem. That's the side it's going to show anyway. So we just set it. We set it down. We put food on it. Who's going to pick it up and look on the bottom, right?
Any other wood
If
burner?
if you're doing
Yeah,
the
only
other one, Doug, you might want to color the back the same as you did the top.
yeah. Then yesterday, did a live yesterday. Just a nice little hollow form. That's hollowed down to about a half an inch of the bottom. The sides out in this area are not real thin. They're fairly thick. I drilled a 3/8 pilot hole and then hollowed it with my that thing. The number
Easy
one
wood
hollow.
tool.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. The easy wood tool. Yes. We did texture it with a burr, a cut saw burr. Put some black dye on there, and then the blue wax over the top of that, just to give it some color and some interest to it. Other than right there is a little bit of, I don't have good light in here tonight. A little bit of spalting right there in that one section.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good.
There we go.
That was a nice video.
Well, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
That was a real nice video.
A lot of fun. That's what I've got this week, guys.
Always enjoy your life.
Sorry,
Right
I
on,
didn't
Doug.
understand that
Thank
one.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
you're
Dave.
saying he really enjoys your videos.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Ruby. Hey, Ruby.
Okay. Yeah, I'd shown you the other characters, and these are the newest set.
They're
Oh,
really cute.
So these are going to the local wood mill, and then I have that goes in front of each one. I have little name tags that'll be attached, and they're going to put them up all around the shop. So there's one for each of the guys that works there.
Nice.
That is so cute.
You know,
That
it's not a challenging turning, and even though it's cracked and split, I'm not worrying about it. But it's just something like the nose you turn separate out of a scrap piece of wood that you've got, drill a hole and stick it in. And they're not they don't take a whole lot of skill to do the faces. If you want some ideas, look at some cartoon characters, and that'll give you some ideas for faces.
Do you do
Perfect.
the
That's
hats? Do you do the hats as a one piece there, or is that a separate?
No, it's all the one piece, the same way as
Okay, right on.
you would cut it when you're doing a Christmas
Yep.
tree.
Yep.
So you just cut in as if you're doing one of the branch sections on a Christmas tree. Put a sphere on the end, and if you can get the bark to stay on, fine. If the bark comes off, that's okay. It becomes more like a sweater or whatever. And then
More like a
this
stripper.
green or the blue, that's just tinsel that you can pick up at the dollar store. So
Yeah,
How-
put some
how
garland
green?
on it.
How
Yeah.
green are the logs? How green are the logs? Are they fresh cut or they?
some are fresh cut and some are old firewood that I just picked up along the way. Now it was just whatever you have around. Like I said, if it goes ahead and it cracks like that, don't worry about it. Next year you can make a whole new set for whoever. But if you have grandchildren and you make up some of these with a little plaque that's got their name on it, and you have them around the house, that's going to really attract them, so to speak. They'll probably end up giving them names.
Yeah. And if you just finish sanding them and don't put any other finish on, they can actually paint them themselves.
That's true. Yeah, I did put a coat of finish over everything, particularly on the bottom, to try and seal them up a little bit. So
Right
I
on.
see, I see Huey just said they don't get much firewood down there, and it's right. All their wood is all first class wood for turning for other things.
Because it doesn't really get cold enough to burn a fire.
Yeah, I have one other item to show if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Get on with it.
All right, this is what I have hanging for my air plant in the kitchen. It's an
Oh,
off-center
sorry.
turning.
Oh, Ruby, stop.
You're kidding me.
No, mine. Put that thing
Like,
away, Lou.
what?
So what
Do we
started
mind?
it
That's a
was
demonstration.
what started it was turning one of these. And when you turn this part first, and then because it's green wood, you bend it out of the way so you can turn in here.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, you just stop it and then hit it with the heat gun and bend it back up. And then I thought, well, if I can bend this part, I can bend the bottom. And another fellow had been turning one, and he got his partway turned and had an accident, threw it in the garbage. I grabbed it, textured it, and decided, that's a really nice way to display it.
Yep. Absolutely. My goodness.
Nice job. Nice save.
One man's trash is Ruby's treasure. Look at that.
What kind of wood?
Absolutely.
What kind of wood is it?
Hackberry.
Okay.
That's a recovery room object there, Ruby.
Oh,
Yep. And that's
good.
it for tonight.
all right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Patrick. Patrick, you still with us? Patrick.
Start talking, Patrick, please.
Oh, he's always got
Okay,
spotty internet.
I'm
Are you
having.
there,
They
Patrick?
don't want to look at me anymore.
There he
Oh,
is.
I don't want to look at you after you brought that piece out, man. Do you mind
got
if
you,
I show you this?
Hey, when you get my age,
Hey,
you'll
Jim.
understand, Eddie.
No, really. No, Ruby, how did you hold it? I mean, how?
You mean hold
did you hold
it on the lathe?
Yeah, hold on. Let's
Okay.
all right. Come on.
So
Let's go on with this
picture
here.
this piece like this, okay?
Right.
It's in a chuck right here. It's solid. So on this end, what you do is you off-center it a little bit so you
Okay,
can
right.
turn this part.
Right. Okay.
And then you bend this out of the way so that you move your center down to here. And you hollow this out and you turn this. And then later you bend that back over.
So hey, Ruby, how big was the initial piece that you started with?
In diameter?
Yeah, in diameter.
Probably a max of 2.5 to 3 inches. And the length of it was just over about a foot.
Okay. And it was
Really?
green berry.
This is the kind of thing that intrigues my mind, and I want to know how you do it. So that's why I do these things.
Wow.
Ruby, did you have to re-moisten the wood, get the wood wet again, or keep it wet while you were bending things around?
Yeah, I kept it very wet.
Gotcha.
Ruby, on the bottom of it, I get that the flower is the top and the long slender is the part that was in the chuck. Did you finish that by carving it afterwards? Because I don't know how you'd hold this to turn it to get that beautiful.
Yeah,
slender.
because this is bent this way, you can bring a center up here.
Right.
With a little ball, and you can turn this narrow just the same way you do for a finial.
Wow.
And then afterwards, I just cut it off.
Yeah, what
Wow.
about the other one, Ruby, where it's
Really
curled
nice.
round at the bottom?
Well, it was done exactly the same way.
Similar.
This was straight. And then what I did was took a thick piece, a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and I cut this shape in the plywood. I laid this down with the plywood here, and it was wet, and just applied pressure to it as we added heat to it here, and that caused this to form around the plywood, and tied
Right,
it
okay.
off so that when it cooled down and dried, it would retain that shape.
So it's a bit like steam bending.
It is steam bending, basically.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to, you could have turned the whole thing straight, put it into a pot of boiling water,
Mhm.
taken it out, and then bent it.
Hmm.
That was the way we originally were doing stuff like that.
I don't have any more words to say.
Good. It's somebody else's turn now, okay?
Right on.
Great
Thanks,
stuff,
Ruby.
Sorry,
Ruby.
Patrick.
All right, Patrick, we're back
Oh,
at
my
you now.
goodness.
All right, I'm having internet problems, so I might.
Oh, I know,
drop
that's why
out,
I'm
I
trying to
don't know.
get you in.
But a friend of mine's turning 40 in a couple of weeks. I turned him a chalice out of
Wow.
walnut, and I used a ebonizing solution on it to turn it black, and then did a little texturing and antique gold wax.
Can you hold it a little higher? That's really pretty.
Beautiful.
Nice, it is.
So that'll be his birthday present.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
And everybody keeps saying you can't turn cedar thin. How's that for thin?
Wow.
that's
Oh,
neat.
see
Not
through
too
it.
bad. Not too bad.
Wow.
Good
Yeah.
job.
My God.
That's 1/8 of an inch thick.
Mm.
That's
Gee.
nice.
How long ago was that dropped down? The wood? How
How dry was it?
how dry? I'm sorry. Yeah, how dry was it?
I actually sawed the boards up probably 3 years ago, and it started
Wow.
out about 1 inch thick. So it's dry.
Wow.
Surprised there isn't any crack in it for sure.
Not a crack in it.
Wow.
That is really nice.
That's
Good
beautiful.
stuff.
That's all I got.
Good deal.
Right on, Patrick. Appreciate it.
Very nice.
Some good stuff, especially for it being cedar. All right, let's go to Matt.
Howdy, y'all. Y'all know that last week, do I need to highlight myself here?
No, I got you.
Okay, all right. So last week I turned this spiral ribbon finial. Okay, it's got a little 1/4 inch tenon on the bottom of it. And I showed it to you guys in Wednesday's meeting. Well, Thursday morning, my club guy called me and said, the guy who's going to do the demo on Sunday is sick. Can you do a demo? I said, okay. And they said, what do you want to do? How about these ribbon finials? So I went into the shop and I made another one as practice. And then I thought, well, I've got all of this. This is box elder, but this is unfinished box elder. And then I said, well, I got all this box elder branches. So then I promptly blew 3 of them up because I was doing small branches, and this is the only one that survived. But what happens is when you've got the pith in the middle, it tends to screw up the tenon when you try to make the tenon on it, or that was my experience. So, but this one, I tried to do this one a little differently, not to, to do the shape a little differently, get a thinner shape and so on. So I came back and did another successful one. And then this is the one I did in the demo on Sunday. So I have that yet to clean up. But so some of these, I've got some plans for what I'm going to do with them. But they're surprisingly easy. I am going to show this in demo on October 4th, right, Dane? So thank you, Ruby. Yeah, they're surprisingly easy to do. So it just, you have to be a little careful. What's that?
Matt, what are you
Very nice,
It'll
Matt.
be good.
what are you using to cut your spirals with?
I have tried, I have you guys know I've got a bunch of carving tools, so I've tried a bunch of different things. And honestly, the thing that works the best for me in carving the spirals out was a Dremel carbide burr that looks like a kind of a wheel that's about a 1/2 inch diameter and it's got teeth on it. That worked. That gave me the cleanest cut and worked the fastest. But I was also, I tried a host of Dremel tools because I wanted to keep it simple for the demo, and include the biggest possibility. Everybody's got a basic Dremel, right? Because you're kind of moving in not in a straight line, you're kind of curving it. You can't use like the cutoff saws; those did not work well. I got burns, and they didn't cut through well. But what also worked well is stump cutters. I have a bunch of those for carving as well, and the stump cutter burrs worked really well to do that also. The guy who's my club member, Phil Stevens, is a guy who served as my inspiration for making these. He made a video, and it's on YouTube somewhere, a number of years ago, and he used his scroll saw to cut this out. And one of the things you do with this is you put a piece of tape on here, and then you cut on the tape edges, and it serves as a way to keep things consistent. So when he set it up, you go find his video. It's a good video.
What's his name again?
His name is Phil Stevens, but I don't know if that's the name of his YouTube channel. And it's like 8 or 9 years ago he did this.
Hey, he'd say stick around in 2 weeks, so we'll have a better one, right?
Yep,
here.
yep. In 2 weeks, I'll show you how I did it. I tried to do one on my bandsaw, and that did not go well. But
I want to see a thing. I want to see a Band-Aid check. Let's see.
that bit.
There you go.
I've got too much junk in my shop. I dropped a log on one of my ankles, so the Band-Aids are on my ankles.
Oh no! Well, you need to heal up between now and October 4th. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not keeping me from turning, you guys. Come on.
Oh, I know. I know.
Well, those welding really weren't good.
So, but there's a lot of fun, and so now I have a bunch of more finials to stick in my finial bucket for pieces.
There you go.
So,
right.
Yeah, so, yep. So I've got plans for at least 2 of them. So
that's great.
Maybe,
all right,
maybe in a week or 2.
Well, let's go across the pond here. Let's go. First timer here. Let's go to Alex. Alex.
Hello. Right, please be gentle with me.
Oh, you're
No
fine.
problem. You're good.
Right. There's just a little something that I did. I don't get much chance to turn at the moment. I'm a carer for my mother and my wife. So this is just a piece of it's about 23-year-old, and it's cherry. It's quite heavily spalted, as you can see. Lots of cracks, woodworm, and everything else that goes with it. So there you go.
Great, Alex.
Thank you.
Very nice.
A lot of character.
That's
almost so much character
Alex.
as Alex.
Yeah, it was just a
Yours is
plain
finished.
thing to show off. Obviously show off all the spalting. The spalting was all around the outside in the softwood, and in the center, the hardwood was nice and red. So
You could put a nice little pond in there with a Christmas cactus or some Christmas plants.
Absolutely.
yeah, it'll probably be given to somebody as a Christmas present or something. most of my stuff gets given away. I don't make an awful lot.
Alex, what's your finish?
Oh, it's basically it's Hampshire sheen, high gloss, and some microcrystalline on it.
Looks
And,
good.
I did lacquer the middle just to sort of
I never
harden
saw
it up a bit.
cherry. I never saw cherry spalt that way.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of it actually. Here's the wife bringing me a nice cup of coffee to keep me awake.
There we go.
You're being spoiled.
Right here. You guys,
She's a superstar.
She's off to bed. But yeah, I've got a lot of it. It's I got basically given a tree, and it's at least 23 years old. It's been sacked, and most of it has gone rotten and all the rest of it. But I keep trying bits. That's one piece out of 4 slices. The other 4, 1 out of 5. The other 4 got thrown away. This one I managed to do something with. So I'm quite happy, and that's all that matters.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well
No
done.
worries.
You
Very
gave
nice.
it 100 years of another
Good
kind of
job.
life.
Sorry.
So you gave it 100 years of another kind of life.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Right. Live
And of
on.
course,
Right.
of course, the other one I posted on the website was my my bit of 3D printing of the logo. So
yes,
no,
yes.
no doubt
Oh,
quite
yeah,
a
I
few of
saw
you
that.
seen that.
Very beautiful
Yes.
work. Very.
That's it. Hopefully, I'll come back in with another one sometime.
Right on.
Cheers.
Sounds good, Alex. Good to have you
Thanks
here,
a lot.
buddy.
Thank you.
Really?
Nice
Real
All
job.
right,
pretty.
let's go.
Pretty, for
Let's
sure.
go. Staying in England. Let's go to Wayne. Hey, Wayne.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Good evening. My first time here. I've been planning on coming into one of the meetings for months now, and haven't gotten around to it because it's a wee bit late. But this is something I did on a live show a couple of months ago. It's still not finished, as you can see. It's got the tenon on, but this is a hollow form. It's got a very small hole in the top, but this is a 4 hollow form because the top is turned separate to the base, and you can't actually see the join at all. If I don't think you can actually see the join, but the texturing was done with an Arbortech mini carver with a Manpa blade in there to do the texturing on the outside and on the top, and the colors are done with Hampshire sheen black gloss lacquer, and then the yellow and red stains on there, and that's my
Great.
piece.
Very
Thanks,
nice,
Ruby.
Wayne.
Right on, Wayne.
Cheers.
Thanks for
Really
sharing.
nice.
Maybe
Well
one
done.
day you'll finish the bottom.
Yeah, maybe one day I will. To tell you the truth, Ruby, I have to finish the bottom because I need some new stock to go into the shop. So at some point in the next couple of days, this is coming off and it will get finished properly. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
All right,
Welcome,
thanks.
sir.
Sharon.
I saw that demo and I really
All right.
liked that piece.
So did I. I saw it.
440.
Thanks, Ruby.
Let's go back to Captain Eddie here. Captain Eddie, back on you now.
Okay, I gotta get some parts moved.
No
this
worries.
is a beautiful work by some new members tonight. Welcome, new members. If you haven't said hello, hello. If we can help you in any way whatsoever, just tell us. We're here. This is your club. There's no other way to put it. It's just your club. We all get together here on Wednesday nights. We spread lies and talk and sit on the tailgate and share stories about wood turning. Everything is fair. When I say everything is fair, we look for more information each week from wood turners. And the more information we have, the more we put on our website. And our website, worldwidewoodturners.org, is probably without question, the world's greatest resource for wood turning information. So if you've got something you want to share, if you created something, you have a sketch, an art plan, whatever, it can go on our website. Dave Rhodes is our webmaster. He takes care of that thing. It's awesome. This entire meeting will be on our website in probably a day or so. That's where you will find the chat. That's where you'll find all the videos and all the past videos. So if you think you wanted to see what Doug Miller did on that platter, or if you want to go see what the other Turners did for us, and we've referenced them to them, they're all on our website, all of them right there. And it costs nothing to get involved. All we want you to do is participate. Be fair. Just like you learned in kindergarten. Make a new friend and be nice. That's all we ask. So if you got something you want to share, be nice, make a friend. We have stickers available. And I just got a package. Came back, bad address. I'll fix it, Glenn. I'll get it back out to you. But we have stickers available. You get 10 of these 3-inch round stickers with worldwidewoodturners.org on it. And they sell to you for $5 for the entire package. And that's $5 including the postage and everything. And this is the only item that the club actually has invested and can sell to you. We did this on a fly, and we have there you go. Thank you, Matt. That's the stickers. And Dane's mission is to get one of these on every demonstration lake in the entire world. So if you can help him out with his mission, we want to get our name out there. But all the details are on the front page of our website, and you can pay me by mailing me a check and make it out to me because the club's got no money, and we're happy about that, really. And we'll send you the stickers. Now, this week or next, we're going to have details, and because we don't put any pressure on our members, never. That's why we don't buttonhole people for demonstrations, because life happens, wood turning follows. We're going to have details on how you can get a Worldwide Woodturners shirt for you. Now, this is a t-shirt, sports shirt, overshirt, cover shirt, jersey, smock. Well, yeah, you run down a list. Here's the deal. If you get a product, a fabric apparel of the right quality material, it can't be 100% cotton because it won't last. So you got to have some poly in it. And you send it to us with a check. We'll put the artwork on it and send it back to you. There's some other details in it. We'll have all that available for you on our website. How you do it, where do you send it, and all that. And I'm working to find out if when you folks do find it, because I'm a big time Amazon shopper. I really am. If you find a particular item on Amazon or a shirt or a jacket or whatever, and then we can all share that item and we can all have it mailed to, we're working on it. It's work. It's a work in progress. And remember, folks, all this is done by members. Nobody makes a nickel on this. This is all member driven, and we like it that way. I like it. I love it. I love the fact that we have no requirements, no restrictions, no membership charge. We don't restrict anybody from seeing anything or going anywhere. We don't tell you that you can't do this, you can't do that. It's your wood turning club. We took the limits off when we created this thing 208 meetings ago. And it was made just for you, the wood turners. And guess how much it's going to grow? As much as you want. And I'm wondering, where are the next IRDs or the next symposiums, the next workshops? Where are they going to be at? Well, I can always go to our chat and see, because you can advertise an IRD or a club meeting or a workshop or a symposium, et cetera, on our chat. It's free. It's not limited. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to have qualifications. We're not going to check and see who your in-laws are. And this is Louisiana, but I won't check. All you have to do is put the information in there. It stays in the chat. It'll be on our website. Boom. It's that easy. And we have an events calendar on our website. Yeah. So if you get an event coming up, like on Thursday, the blah, 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 Woodturners are having a Zoom meeting, and you can put it on there, invite somebody. And all this hoopla about, well, if you're not mom, you can't come to the meeting. We don't have those rules. Spread the word, okay? Spread the word. Right. One important part of our workshop each week, when we do our meeting each week, is safety. And our safety is a volunteer. Safety Sue does it for us. And we pick on a little topic that would be applicable to what we're turning, what we're working on right now. And a little while ago, Matt Harbor said he dropped a log on his foot or something. And I immediately wanted to jump in and say, did you have shoes on, Matt? You know, because just last week.
I did. It hit my ankle above the shoe. So you never know. You can never be too safe. So
because Sue said, put shoes on. Don't go out there and turn them barefooted. One of my good friends said, it was too hot to wear shoes. He went out and turned barefooted. He went to pull his lathe forward. He rolled over his big toe with that big steel wheel on the end of his lathe. Now, all of us know what'll make a grown man cry. That made a grown man cry for a long, long time. So put the shoes on, he said.
Bringing tears to my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we know how sharp the corners on those furniture is when you kick them at night. In fact, your neighbors 2 doors down know how sharp their corners were when you kicked it. So
turn in Crocs. Don't photograph your feet in your pictures.
Yeah, please don't. I don't need to see a wound. If you're going to go on our Facebook page and show us something you did that was absolutely, positively stupid, I don't need to see the photograph. Just tell me you did it. It's okay. I don't. Ooh, man, just look at that stuff at me. You know, it curls me. It's right now. Moving around the house, I've got a 21-pound Skipper Key dog. That's my little mop. And she's black. And in the dark, if she stops in the middle of the floor, there's no way I can tell where she's at.
Yeah, you can't see her.
Almost not enough light. So at night, I find myself walking through the bedroom with a cane, sweeping the floor in front of me like I'm blind, because that little mat won't move out my way. So, you know, and my wife says,
they're a stubborn dog.
Yeah, my wife said, just step on her. I said, no, because when she comes up and bites me, you know, one of us is going down. It'll probably be me.
He's trying to become a slipper.
Yeah, but she's not talking to me. I pulled out the lead to put her on a lead out here with me tonight, and she just said, "No, I ain't gonna hang on." So it's going to be.
Hey, Captain.
Yes, sir.
This is Scott from Wisconsin, the T-shirt guy.
T-shirt guy.
Dave will have the info tomorrow morning on how to order your T-shirts.
Great. That's what we're looking for. So I didn't put you in the buttonhole, Scott, because I know we're all working on this together, man.
Yeah, I just got to get my proofreader to read it, and then when he okays it, we'll ship it off to Dave and get it up on the website.
Yep.
All right, great. That's where it'll be, folks. Be on the website, World's Greatest Woodturning website, worldwidewoodturners.org, and you get all the information you need right there. And it'd be nice. Be nice to see you folks wearing your Worldwide Woodturners T-shirts on meetings, and when you go to your club meetings, because spreading the word about our club or their club, and it's the move. It's not just ours; it's theirs. It's yours.
And wear it at your craft shows and your art festivals and all the other places.
That's it.
That's it. And just wear it out, because you never know who's going to be standing in line and going to tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, by any chance, can you make this?"
Yeah, it's right. You know, it's nice. It's really nice to meet friends that way. And that's who you're meeting friends. And that's why we're here. And if I don't say it enough during the evenings, I really do thank you folks for being here, because this is just a bunch of friends who are sitting on a tailgate. I'm almost on the tailgate tonight, sitting on the tailgate, just telling stories about wood turning. And that's what we do.
Amen.
All right.
Why
Anybody
we
else?
start the meeting early.
Yeah. Boy,
So we got one more gallery item. We're going to do one more gallery item, folks, and then we're going to go to our hot demo. And then in the meantime, let's see, we have 85 folks on, and we've got 7 people that's showed their gallery items. So during the demo, you can decide, who's going to go first and pop in your gallery items. And we'll do more gallery after the demo. So without further ado, let's go to Mr. Dawson here and see what he's got to show for us tonight. Al, start your video.
Al,
Mr. Dawson here. I'm sorry.
Talk to us.
You got me? Hello.
Trying to. There you are.
There, man.
There we go.
Well, first of all, just to show you that, like, people do pay attention. Remember when
Cade.
Remember he demonstrated this?
Yes, sure do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not supposed to do that. I gave it to my 3-year-old grandson. He fiddled with it, and he couldn't do it, but he gave it back to me, and here he colored it with his crayons.
There you go.
Now it's priceless.
So he embellished it. He embellished it.
Now for Birdhouse Bob, I don't know if can you see it?
That's really
Yes,
nice.
sir.
I like that.
Very nice.
A piece of cedar too?
I had a piece of cedar, and this is something I should probably show on Mondays. It cracked. It cracked here, and then all of a sudden it became a funnel. So I said, well, I've seen Bob make these with a finial, so the finial got glued into the funnel, and that's that. So this bird's living high off the hog.
Sure is.
That looks like a good rescue moment. Call Tim Hatch.
Yeah. Those are, like I said, I just want to show a couple things that I pick up here at the meetings. Here's another one from Cade. I didn't make a lid or anything yet, but it's a 6-sided box, and with the bottom on it. Remember that was
Very
another
nice.
thing that Cade did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to show you, hey, look, there's people paying attention. I love this place. I love it. Now, okay, now Ruby, she goes and shows something in the back on her shoulder that, okay, it's just a log and there isn't any turning, but it's something that if you hand it to somebody, they get a smile.
Oh, cute.
So,
that turned out great.
This is Larry the Limb. This is Larry the Limb. This is Gary the Ghost. the scary ghost.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I love the googly eyes.
Yeah.
Here's Boo.
Yeah, just call him Boo.
I like the hairdos.
That's a man bun.
Oh, boy.
Doug Rowe.
Yeah, Doug Rowe's working on one of those.
Like I said, you guys have all, well, here's something. Now, this wasn't my idea. I saw this on our Facebook. Mustafa Sunmez.
Yeah.
Yes,
Suez,
yes.
Yeah. And
nice job.
I tried my best to go and now the whole deal was, if you don't like it that way, it could be
That works too.
gorgeous, just as gorgeous that way.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
he was really good.
Hey, that's really neat to where you got it both ends. That's cool.
He does his.
Go check him out. I mean, look at that. I mean, that was just a crop. It's a crop.
Is it,
makes some nice stuff.
Is it hollow all the way through or just partially?
No, I stopped about there on both ends.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit. But I didn't want to. I'm a baby. I'm a sissy.
No worries.
What can I say?
You have some weight in it anyhow.
Now, also a couple of weeks ago, Howard did a line demonstration about, remember the spiral?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Oh, you did 360 degrees instead of 180." And I said, "What the heck is he talking?" I just, because I wasn't thinking, and I went and I did a vase, and I can't get in there. And I said to myself, well, 160, that would mean I would have wider things to go and sand. So, Howard, are you on?
Yeah, he hasn't checked in yet.
Yes, I'm on.
Oh, okay. There he is.
Now I understand. I mean, the ribs here, they would be. I would have more space, and I'd be able to sand in between there. But like I said, I get a kick out of a challenge, and the things that inspire me, and a lot of the stuff inspires me. Now, because Howard, you did that. What's somebody think about turning this on a lathe?
Hey, Albert, that piece you just set there with the spirals is blocking the view. It's in front of your camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
This is again not my idea. I saw this also on YouTube. A fellow named Wood Boy, and it's an inside-out turning. I have something put together that so you can see one different color wood, another different color wood. Like what Howard did, what was so great, if you do know anything about offset turning, you glue some wood together. I guess everybody knows that. And again, what is a good way to do it is to glue them together with some paper in between. You're going to want to go and take it apart at one time. And you have a block of wood with 4 blocks glued together. And it's so simple that while it's on the lathe, all you do is just turn a little spindle right here, or any length you want for your legs, because now whatever size you have here, you're going to break it apart now. You're going to break it apart, all 4 pieces, and you're going to turn them all around, which is from the spindle inside, they're now going to be your outside legs.
Right on. Yep.
So then you could figure out what you want to do, start at a certain point, start at a certain point, and turn the vase. So if anybody's interested in making something like this, this is how simple it is to do.
Very clever.
Good job, Al.
But anyway, again, this is really great. I look forward to it all week. Everybody have fun.
That's great. Thank you, Al. Great pieces. All right. Top of the hour, and without further ado, let's go to Joaquin, North Carolina, for our scheduled demonstration tonight. Joaquin, we got you now, buddy.
All right, let me unmute. And did that work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty, good. All right, so we're gonna do a little mortar and pestle. I've been doing craft shows around here lately, and I can't keep these on the table. They sell almost immediately. So this is hard maple, and this is all from the same board. Look at the flame in that maple. I don't know. I lucked out on a nice piece of maple. And you can make them bigger or smaller. Here's a cherry mortar that's a little bit smaller. These are for spices, use in the kitchen.
Recording in progress.
Kind of played with the shape here of the pestle. So you could use it either way. And I also have to think about the fact that my hands are almost twice average lady's hand. So I try to keep the size down a little. If I make them for me, the pestles are like 6 and 7 inches long. So if you have some cutoffs of 12-quarter, anything, maple, cherry, dense woods with closed grains are probably the best. This is all from one board. And this was just a leftover about 12 inches. And I just cut it up into segments to do several of these. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start turning it. I start between
Sounds good.
centers. And the reason I do this is it flows faster this way rather than trying to do some kind of a glue block or anything. And when you're working on a scale this small, this is only a 4x4 block. So 4x4x3, you can keep the lathe going fairly fast, safely. And these actually, this is a fairly quick project. You can probably do it in about 45 minutes. Mortar and pestle. So starting between centers just makes things work quicker. Now I am using a step center, so if I get a little aggressive, it will actually spin. And I always like to start the shape as I am forming it. And you'll have to excuse me, my gouge is not happy tonight. I'm reworking all my sharpening techniques. There we go. So I like to turn the corner here, soften this, and I like to start from square and work down to round because I get the maximum diameter off that blank if I do so. Whereas I found if I am cutting a blank round on the saw, well, first of all, I'm a wood turner, not a sawyer. But if I'm cutting a blank round on the saw, I end up inevitably smaller than the circumference that I was aiming for, regardless of putting marks on it or anything. I've found that for me, if I start from square and get it round, I always end up with the maximum outside diameter. Magnet on my light is slipping. Sorry, that's a new one. This light holds on asymmetric pieces and odd multi-axis pieces, and it's slipping on this. So you can hear how far I am around, as far as how far up the vessel. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I can hear. So I starting to come into corners here. We want to take small steps, small bites. That step center forces you to use a lighter hand, which gets you clean cuts. And maybe somebody can answer this for me. Let me turn this light off. I hope you guys can see this. Every single piece of this maple has a white ring. Let's see. You can just make out a shadow of that white ring. Sorry, these cameras are awful. Let's see if I can show you on this. Of course, it's not going to let me definitely. Oh, there it is. Okay. There's a white ring in the grain here. I wish I could see it better. So if anybody knows what might cause that, I'm imagining some kind of an event in the environment that year created that anomaly, but I don't know what. So if anybody's ever seen that, I'd love to know.
Could have been anything from a drought to a forest fire burning through. It just stressed the tree during that year.
Yeah, I'm thinking most likely a fire.
Yeah, it can stress the tree and it'll show up in a ring or two before it goes back to growing normal again.
I just think it's really unique that this particular board, and this came out of a slab, a 12-quarter slab by, I think it was 6 feet long, somewhere here in North Carolina. And I thought it was very unique that this entire piece of wood has a white ring in it. This is hard maple, shook maple. I like to use maple and cherry primarily for kitchen items because it has got closed grain, which helps with the water resistance.
This is side grain orientation, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again.
That's side grain orientation?
Yes, this is side grain. I've made a mortar and pestle end grain and immediately threw it in a burn pile. It just did not, even though you'll see, we're going to leave the base about a half an inch thick because you're grinding. This is a tool. This is a grinding tool. So you want heavy base. But even though that base was that heavy, when I went to treat it with pure tung oil to seal it, the tung oil ran straight through, and I would have had to set and soak it for. I would have had to put a lot of tung oil in it end grain. It just wasn't. It wasn't going to come out. Now, you could probably do like a tall base end grain, and it'd be effective and water resistant, but side grain seals easier. All right, we're almost there. Now I use one of these. I have a friend who's a chef who I gave one to, who uses it daily to grind spices. Grinds peppercorns in it, grinds sea salt down to a finer grind with it, and he swears by it. We are very close to round. Almost there. All right, we have a tiny bit of a flat spot. So we're going to do one more pass from top to maybe two more passes from bottom to top, and we should be able to round that out, smooth that out. All right. Nice and round. Smooth this corner a little bit, and we'll go ahead and put a tenon on it. I like to use a tenon on these. It allows me to finish the bottom pretty cleanly. Hang on a second. My pencil decided to escape me. Let me grab my other pencil. Show you a little trick. I learned this from Phil Anderson on the Shady Acres workshop. If you're using the G3, the Nova chuck with the 60mm jaws, you set your pencil on your 60-degree live center and spin it. You give yourself a circle that is just outside the exact diameter of the tenon. So you literally just set your pencil here, spin it, and you're just at the right size for your tenon. Apologize for the brightness of that light. So I like to go ahead and undercut a little on the base while I'm forming the tenon, kind of set that shape. And then I use the cheat technique, bring in my U-chisel as essentially a negative rake scraper and get that dovetail. The Nova jaws do have a dovetail, and this sets it just about perfect. So at this point, we can sand the outside. I'm not going to bore you with sanding. We all know how to do that. I sand through 400 grit on the outside. Then I use Brad's Workbench sanding paste. But I do not put finish on it at that stage yet. and we treat, now this is again, a grinding implement. It is for spice grinding. So I treat the inside differently than the outside. The inside does not get finished to the same degree as the outside because you want some degree of coarseness in there. You want the spice to be able to catch, not just slide around. So I'm going to hollow it, but when I sand it, I only sand it to 240 grit so that there's some texture in there. I like to bring the tailstock up, drive. I still have that center from when we were between centers. So I like to drive it down onto the shoulders. We get a really, really good tight bond between the shoulder of the jaw and the shoulder of the piece. And as you can see, almost perfect for the width of the tenon. This is cross grain, so you don't want to crank down too hard because you can actually shear the tenon on a cross grain with those dovetails. If you have, and I always share this warning, if you have the old style, this is the new style G3 anniversary edition. If you have an old style, I wish this camera would focus. It has a tooth right here on the top of the inside of the tenon. This will, on these 60mm jaws on the old style G3 anniversary edition chuck from Nova, this will shear cross grain tenons every time. The new style does not have this tooth. So if you have an old style chuck, use a glue block. It's safer. It's safer.
Joaquin, you can cut a little recess for that tooth too when you make your tenon.
Yeah, I find again, just this what experience I've had, especially when we're hollowing, that's when you're putting the most pressure on this tenon. If you have a little notch in there for that tooth, although that tooth may not be touching, you're still weakening your tenon a little bit further. I want the maximum strength possible for this maximum safety. I found these jaws to be safer. And if I have a doubt, like if this was spalted, I would probably use a glue block just for safety's sake. I've had some very nice pieces that almost didn't make it off the lathe because I was using the other chuck jaws and wasn't thinking about it, and they sheared tenons on me. So just a word of warning, there are ways to work around it, absolutely. But I want maximum contact between the shoulder of the chuck and the shoulder of the piece. This edge will cut you. It is sharp. So the first thing we're going to do is soften that. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about proportion here. This is, again, a grinding implement. Normally, like if I was making a cup, we'd probably go down to, a 1/4 of an inch, maybe even a little, we might actually go that thin right there. But if I'm trying to grind spices in a cup that thin, I'm going to break it. So we're going to go a full 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch thickness, and we want to leave a little bit extra down in the bottom.
So Joaquin, your light is white. Your light is whitewashing that.
Okay, sorry. So
No,
normally you turn it about like that, right? Normally you want nice thin walls. But again, we're using this to grind spices. And if you're anything like me in the kitchen, you're going to get in there. You're really going to work.
Yeah, you don't want to feel like
if you're working walls that thin, you're going to warp them and snap them.
Yep.
So we're going to stay this around here. We're going to stay this thick. And on the bottom, remember, we're going to undercut. So we have to plan for that kind of a cove on the bottom, that concave bottom. So we have to plan about that much, but then we need a thick base because we have to have something to grind those spices in. So you're going to have a heavier base than you think. You want a heavier base than you think. So at least 3/8 of an inch, maybe even half an inch. Again, this is a grinding tool. You're coming in there. Peppercorns are hard. Salt is hard. You're mostly going to be working the spice against itself, but you're still working it against the bottom of the vessel. So be aware of that. A little bit high. I'm sorry. I know this is whitewashing. I've got to get some better lighting in here, but I got to be able to see.
No, that's fine. Being able to see is more important than the whitewashing.
Now, hollowing this gets a little tricky the deeper you get, because this is a very deep vessel proportion-wise, almost as deep as it is wide. We're used to hollowing shallow bowls. This is essentially a deep bowl. So I have found that once I get about 2.5 inches deep, switching to my 60-degree English grind or my bottom feeder gouge usually gives me the best results. Hang on, I got to sharpen. Also, this is hard maple and it eats steel. So be prepared to spend some time, a couple of trips to the sharpening station. Just on top of that. That's better. A little too deep on that cut. Well, we're not having fun tonight. Sorry, I have to regrind that gouge. Go to my 1/2 inch. Maybe it'll behave better. No, we're not having any luck. .40-40 is going to treat this good tonight. So we're almost to our edge that we want here, our width. We're almost to the width here. So it's time to start thinking about getting more depth out of this, because the regular bowl shape, we're at like 2 inches thickness here. So we really need to concentrate down on the bottom in here at this point before we start making our last couple passes out here on the outer edge. The 40-40 grind gets you around the corner, but when you start getting deeper, you start hitting the elbow, which is why I've been using the Ellsworth grind. Let's see if I can. Okay. So put the heel of the gouge parallel to the outside of the piece. And keep it there longer than you think you should. You might have to step out. Let me take a shallower pass here real quick. Get some of this bulk out of the middle. And here's where, usually at this depth, I've found that coming to a traditional English fingernail grind gives you a little bit more control across the bottom and down the center. Now, one thing you need to remember as you're doing this, as you're shaping this, is that you want a hemispheric bottom of the bowl. You want it nice and smooth and round so that as you're bringing your pestle in, you're making a maximum contact of the grinding surface with the bottom of the bowl. So you want that shape to give you as much friction as possible down there. You can shape the pestle and the mortar to match together to be the most effective tool for grinding spices. Okay, now we can start looking at the base and see how thick, how deep we are. We're almost where we need to be. I think we've only got about 1/4 of an inch room here. Yep, I'll show you that from the top so you can see. You can start to, I've made enough of these now over the past couple of weeks. I can start to really get a feel for it. I've got about 3/8 of an inch here, a little more depth to go. Again, at this depth, the 60-degree English grind gives me the most effective reach with my gouge. And it's well suited to just getting that nice, even roundedness. All right, let's take a look. Feel for the shape. I'm just about ready. We're going to go back to the Ellsworth grind and bring our walls down a little further. And that's just consistent thickness to a little bit more of a depth. You are going to end up heavy on the bottom. You want to end up heavy on the bottom, but you still need your walls to kind of come straight. Let's see if we can get final. There we go. So at this point, my wall depth or wall thickness is consistent 2.5 inches down, and I just have to blend the corner to the bottom. And for that, I'll go back to the 60-degree English grind, fingernail grind, whatever you want to call it. Sorry to bump the camera there. You just want to try to bring that around as smooth and consistently as possible, and it gives you a hemispherical shape on the inside bottom. Now, to finish that shape and really make it work well for mortar, I've found that a 3/4 inch bowl scraper works very well to give us just kind of that perfect pitch, if you will. I still got a little bit of a corner down there. Hang on just a second. Let's see if we can get that corner. I'll come back in with that bowl scraper. There we go. This just has the right curve. Nice. And if you watch Richard Finley, or not Richard Finley, if you watch Richard Raffin, yeah, if you watch Richard Raffin, watch Richard Finley too. He's brilliant. But if you watch Richard Raffin, he takes his scraper and turns it up on an angle and makes a light pass and gets a sheer scrape. Just like that, you get really super fine shavings, and it produces a very nice surface. And it does a really nice job of it. We'll just turn that up on an angle. Just like that, and you should have a decent surface to sand, which we do. And the bottom, if you have a little bit of a nub at the bottom, take your scraper in underneath and just raise it up to the center, and that should give you a nice, and you can pull it out a little from there, that should give you a nice rounded center, no bump. And that's nice and clean. Now we're going to deal with this little edge right here. We'll just use a 3/8 inch spindle gouge. Round this a little bit. Nice and smooth, leads down in so that your spices stay in. So again, not going to bore you guys with sanding, but I usually start at 120 grit, go up to 240, so 120, 180, and 240. And I don't sand the inside any further than that. And I don't sand the pestle any further than that. Again, the reason being you want friction. This is to grind spices. The smoother you make it, the more useless it becomes. Removing the tenon is not a big difficulty. I've got an end grain piece of cherry here rounded to so that the edges are roughly the same shape as the my little arc, my curve in there. This is end grain, so you can crank down all you need to on it. You're not going to shear anything. You're just compressing the fibers. A small piece of shelf liner. You can get that at the dollar store. Bring your tail center back. You still have your center from before. Now remember, we left that base very thick. We're going to hollow this, undercut. Let's see if you can see that. So we're going to take out bulk, not have weight, but we're going to still have about 1/4 inch across the bottom here. Again, so that you have some surface here. You have something to work. When you do this, when you set this up, you can tweak it a little left or right. A way to tell if it's straight, slow the lathe down, set your fingernail against the outer rim. And if it's consistent, you're straight, you're square up. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So you can actually feel if it's off a little. Let's see if I can get it off a little. If it's off a little, Here, how it's a little off. So then you just loosen this up, wiggle it around, and you can feel if it's even or not. So, but with this, you can getting as close. This is not perfect, but it's really close. Like it's not imperfect enough to make a difference. 3/8 spindle gouge, great detail tool. The other reason I like to really make this deep is because you got to think that you're working on a kitchen counter, you're grinding spices, you're cooking, you're probably going to have a lot of liquid on that counter. So we want the outer rim contact, but we don't want a big, large surface area sitting in water. All right, I'm gonna turn that off so you guys hopefully can see. So we've got this down to about 1 inch across. We're going to pare away at it a little bit at a time, our little tenon, get it smaller. You can come in. Kind of give it a dovetail. Okay, slow the lathe down to about 550, 600 RPM. I hold my tool in the palm of my hand, point my finger directly up the shaft. We're going to use that heel of the bevel there, and we're going to press against the headstock using the shaft of the tool, and we're going to slowly work it in. My left hand is on the power switch. We're just going to let that slowly work in. If we may need to come back here and remove a little bit more so the gouge has somewhere to go. Keeping nice pressure on there. The second that little knob stops spinning, you are through. You have parted your tenon off. And you stop the lathe immediately. Hold the piece. Get your left hand back on the piece. Get your tailstock out of the way. Crucial step. Move your tool rest so that you don't bonk your nice finished piece that you sanded and everything and dent it on the tool rest. From here on the bottom, a couple of minutes with the sanding disc, smooth that out, and you've got a nice little mortar that sits flat and will not rock. So now all we need to do is make a matching tenon. Pestle. Mortise and tenon, mortar and pestle. And I like to do those between centers. It just as easy as, especially since my pieces aren't square.
Saves wood too.
It does. It does.
What finish do you usually use?
For these, I use pure tongue oil. You can use something food safe like Brad's Workbench. I just find that, especially in the inside surface, like Brad's Workbench, tongue wax or tongue honey is perfect on the outside. On the inside, you want to seal it. You want it water resistant, but wax is not necessarily something you want to introduce on a surface that you're grinding on. I had somebody, I was drilling pens earlier today live, and somebody said, well, you know, it starts squealing when your shavings build up in the channels of the drill bit. And somebody said, well, put wax on it. And I said, well, then when I glue it, the wax is going to prevent that glue from sticking. That's you know, that squeal tells me I need to back off. Same kind of thing here. If we put wax in there, it's not going to grind as efficiently. So I just use pure tung oil. And since I'm using pure tung oil on the outside or on the inside, it just makes sense to just use it on the outside. It's a great finish. I don't know, walnut oil. I guess you could use walnut oil. That's another polymerizing oil. I'm not sure. I mean, it's really up to you what you prefer and what you consider food safe finishes.
What
All
dimension?
right, this is in spindle orientation now. Same piece of wood, same board.
And what size was this to start?
This was about 2 by 2.5, not quite square. And it's 4 inches, 4.5 inches long. Again, I have a tendency with tool handles and things, I have a tendency because I have big, giant hands, I make them too big. So I have to make a conscious effort to make it smaller. I've made some really, really beautiful cocktail muddlers that are 10 inches long because it fits in my hand and people pick them up and go, that's great, but why is it so big? Lesson learned. Now, I'm going to turn the light off in a second so you guys can see this. This slab of maple was a little bit surprising. See the flame?
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it was not sold as flame maple, but boy, I'll tell you, it's got plenty of flame in it. So it was kind of a neat, fun find. All right, we got a little bit of a, no, we got to come way down from this anyway. That's really thick. All right, so let's talk about pestle shapes. I've been looking at old pictures of mortars and pestles, and this is one that's a very common shape. Kind of almost like a pacifier with a rounded hemispheric round on the bottom. That fits the bottom of the cherry mortar. This is another one, and this is kind of a reversible. You could use it this way, and it's got that hemispheric, or you could use it this way with a larger head. You get a little bit more in your hands and a little more control. Again, considering that most of the people who use these, their hands are smaller than mine. So I tried to really consider that as I was making it. So this is about 4.5 inches long. This is just another take on that old-fashioned traditional shape. But I'm showing you all these different shapes to tell you there's no, this is the shape. You can play with it. You can have fun with it. You can make it whimsical. Have fun with it as long as the grinding end is hemispheric. That's the most important feature. So what I like to do is start with a V-cut. So my gouge has somewhere to go. And I could start, this is 2 inches wide. I could start way out here so that I can start to see what the shape is going to look like. And then I can just start paring it down. To get the width. And that gives me, if I start big and work my way down, that gives me much more control
of what my final shape is going to look like if I make it too big and then get it to the right size. But you don't have to start with a big 2.5 by 2 or 3 chunk. You can go down to a 1 by 1 if you want to, if you know exactly what your shape is. You don't have to waste as much wood as I am. But again, this is just all cutoffs. This came from the pile of the wood I haven't turned yet. This was not planned to be mortars and pestles. It just worked out that it was the right size. Go ahead and just make that a little bit smaller. So I don't have that sharp point. Now, I'm not going to take this down to parting size. I'm going to leave that about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch, because I've still got to turn this end. V-cut again. Now I don't have this deep penetration from a 60-degree live center here. That's almost flat. So I have a little bit more room to work with. You absolutely can do this with the skew chisel. I'm demoing tonight, so I'm not going to break out the skew chisel. All right. Check it, feel it, make sure we like the shape. We're going to come a little bit thinner here. Again, there's really no set rules for this shape, except you want your carving end here, or your grinding end, you want that to be fairly hemispheric. You want that rounded. That feels good. Again, here we're going to leave about a quarter of an inch sand, and then we'll part the ends off the way one normally does. What I'm going to do is part this end, and usually what I do is part this saw this end, and then I'll show you a little trick for sanding the ends and rounding it. But at this point, you would sand. Again, this is the piece. There's 2 reasons why I don't sand this past 240. First of all, you want that to have some kind of a grit to grind. But the other reason I don't is, again, we're in a kitchen, we're cooking. There's water, there's oil. You need to be able to hold on. And if this gets too smooth, that's 240 grit, and that feels, with pure tung oil, which is already polymerizing, that just feels slick as can be. That really has a really nice smooth finish, and I can see having trouble holding on to it if it gets wet or if my hands are wet. So I don't want to go much past 240 grit here. And on this surface, which is end grain, we want to have some decent texture so that it will actually grind spices. So functionally speaking, although we could make this really pretty and smooth and shiny, it loses, the smoother it is, the less functional it is for this application. So we'll part this end, and then I usually just use a little pull saw for this end, but I'm going to show you a quick and dirty trick for sanding the ball on the end. So So at this point, you're going to have a little bit of a nub, and you're going to have a little bit of friction. You want to get rid of that, but how do you do it safely? And how do you do it with control? Normally, first thing you think of is, well, just grab the drill with the 2-inch sanding mandrel on it and go to town, right? But the problem is, first of all, your fingers are really close to that surface, and second, it's real easy for that drill to slide off, so you don't have a lot of control. We can fix that. Morse 2 taper. Now, if you're going to do this for a long period of time rather than a few moments once in a while, I highly suggest you get a piece of all thread long enough to go all the way through your headstock. And if you look on the inside of your Morse taper here on your Jacobs chuck, it's threaded. All thread will fit that. You want to run it all the way through your headstock, out the back. You want to put a washer on there and a nut, and essentially create a drawbar. I rarely do this, and I barely do it for very long. So I'm willing to accept the risk. But if you want to make that safer, put a drawbar through your headstock. All right, we're going to go with a piece of 180 grit sandpaper, if we can find it. Thank goodness I have an order for sanding discs on the way. Slowly lay it down. Sanding is a friction process. Allow friction to happen. Now here, I have complete control of the piece without having to worry about controlling the sanding disc. This is
by far a safer way to get these little ends round and do anything you need to, if you need to do anything, than holding a drill and hoping it doesn't run out your hand and sand your skin off. So you can get that nice and round. You could spin it. You're 100% in control because you're just worried about your fingers in the piece. You're not worried about that drill and the torque from that drill. And then you can go through the grits. This is a grinding surface, however, so you don't want to go much higher than 240 grit. So that's it. That's a it's not a difficult project. It's not a long project. You can turn 3 or 4 of these in about an hour and a half or 2 hours. And in craft fairs, I'm going to tell you, I can't keep these on my table. They sell immediately. And it's usually the first thing somebody picks up is a pestle.
What do you charge? What do you charge for them, Joaquin?
Depending on the species of wood, between $50 and $65, and the size. Now these are small. If you want, you can make a molcajete. You can make a big one where you would put avocados in there and grind it up for guacamole with a much larger pestle. Now that you're looking in the $80, $90 range. That's a big piece. This is everybody wants this on their counter to throw some seasoning in and grind up their own spice mix. It's
That's great. Thanks very much. That's a great demo. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Great demo, Joaquin. Anybody else got any questions?
Not a question, just good info there.
Now I can't hear you because my air compressor just kicked on.
It's funny. We can't hear it, but you can't hear us.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Joaquin, let me see your signature on that one again. It looked pretty cool. Hold it up close. Yeah, that's rad, man.
That's
Good
it. Now
job.
you can't read it because his cameras are terrible. It says handcrafted by Joaquin Watai, WataiWoodturning.com. And then that logo is WW with the oh hush, with the silhouette of my deceased service dog, my Alaska Malamute. You hush.
Right on, man.
That's my
Are you
sassy
are
master.
you putting those on your laser? Are you doing that with the
Yeah.
laser?
I do that with the laser. Yeah. Lasers. The whole reason I bought a laser is to sign pieces.
Yeah.
I paid
Did
for a
use
brand.
That, you use that Lightburn, right? Did you use like that warp feature on Lightburn?
Yeah. Use Lightburn. When you type a line, Munchie, quit. Stop. I know you're tired, but I'm working. It's bedtime. The Mastiff says, "Hey, what are you still doing out here?" Hush. On Lightburn, when you type words, boy, I wish I, you know what? Let me pull it up. I should be able to show you. Just a second. We'll do a screen share. Let me open Lightburn.
Yeah, right on.
Hang
I'm
on.
actually using Lightburn right now. You might see the blue reflection on the wall behind me.
Yeah, I can't run my
shit
run
like
my
this right
my
now.
compressor and my laser or my bandsaw and my laser at the same time. It pops the breaker. All right, let me pull you back up and see if I can screen share, and I'll show you this because it's a really cool feature and it's right in the text tool. Screen share. Hang on, let me find the button here.
I think it's that warp feature that they added sometime last year. I've got it. I just never have used it.
Yeah, but there's so you can choose a warp.
You can do warp, and you can also do text on a curve.
Yeah, here. I got it up. Can you see the Lightburn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to type.
Did we lose them?
I'm still here. Hang on a second.
All right.
Screen share.
Yeah, it's just
got to connect.
Yeah, it's slow. I think we might have lost him.
I'm back. I'm back. I got Zoom back.
There you are. There you are.
Yeah, Zoom quit unexpectedly. Let's try this again. Share. Okay. You can see it again?
Yep.
Yes. Now we can.
Okay.
We got it.
Okay. So I want to type handcrafted. I want to spell it correctly because I'm live. Then you come up here and you grab your arrow. Okay. And you've got all these dots here. See this blue dot?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
It is that simple in Lightburn. So you type your word, you click the arrow, click the word, and find the blue dot. It's that easy.
So I guess you could technically drop a circle down on there. That way you know you're.
Yep. Yeah,
you're
you can
doing a
drop
good-
a circle.
Yeah.
And you can again get to the arrow key and change your dimensions. Make sure your circle is unlock it here. Say I want it 90 by 90. Munchie, hush. I realize you're tired, but I'm busy. Okay, so that's a perfect circle, 90 by 90.
90 by 90, yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to take my word up here.
And then wrap it around the circle.
And then just fit it to the circle. I don't quite like it, or it's not big enough. You can just grab this, stretch it, wrap it again.
Perfect, man.
So this is so easy. Even us
Yeah,
old codgers
I remember
can do
when
it.
I remember when they came out with that like a year ago. I just never have gotten around to trying that.
Yeah. Now the other way is you can come in here and see this is a nightmare. You can come in here, you can convert that to path, right? And then you can highlight your text and you can let's see. I think you have to shift click the text and this, and then right click and apply path to text. And then you can rotate it. So that's just so many more steps. They made it 100 times simpler.
If you want to do a wave, you can do a line and do that same thing if you want to do a wave.
Right. Yeah. You can do pretty much any of the shapes. You can come in with your multiple point tool or your polygon tool, and you should be able to move all those around and get different shapes. I mean, you can play with it. It's really fun to play with it and just kind of see what you can come up with. And you get if you do the welding shapes, you could start making real complex shapes and have fun with it. Here, hang on a second. Let me get that layer out of there. If you don't know about welding shapes, say you want to do some funky shape coming off of a sphere.
Man, I barely have an 8th grade education, man. This is way too much for me. The circle was great.
you just click there and it turns it into one shape.
That's cool. I wish my my drawing or my publisher thing could do that, because it does.
Right? It's super. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous how easy Lightburn has made it.
Yeah.
So much better than Photoshop.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I do that. That's a lot of fun. If you watch, and he's done demonstrations for us, the Louisiana laser guy.
Yeah,
he did he did a marketing advertisement for us. So he did not do a demonstration for us.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was not a demo. That was not a demo.
If you watch his YouTube channel, he does step by step all through all the different things you can do with Lightburn, and there's hundreds of hours of lessons. Like it's ridiculous how much he's put out.
What's his name again?
The Louisiana Laser Guy on YouTube.
Louisiana Hobby Guy.
Yeah,
Louisiana Hobby Guy. That's right. Thank you.
I can get that right for you.
Thanks.
Hey, so Joaquin, you don't have to do the shift click and attach to the line. You can just do the little warp thing, and that's all you need to do, right?
Yep. So yeah, you can just use just grab the text, the blue dot on the text, and just move your mouse up and down, and that will
and then
warp it
wrap
for
it
you.
around a circle until it looks good, and then you're good.
Yeah, eyeball it. Now the convert to path is exact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but your eyeball's pretty accurate. Look, who can tell whether that's exact or not when they pick this up at a craft show? Not me.
Right.
You know,
Dane Chandler. Man, Dane Chandler's
not the person that's going to be buying it. Yeah, you're probably right, Kelly. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I think that was all of them. There was the one on the cost, and I think you answered the Ruby. You had a question on dimensions. Was that fully answered for you?
Yes, he answered everything, and
Okay.
it was an
Right,
excellent
right on.
demonstration.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
he
will.
does.
I will
It was
caution you.
working.
I will caution you. If you're making a mortar, it needs to be deep. So I wouldn't use an 8-inch bowl blank that's only 8x3 or 8x4. If you're going to make an 8-inch mortar, it needs to be at least 5 or 6 inches deep. So keep that in consideration. When you're grinding spices, what you don't want is a shallow cup that's going to just spill it out all over your countertop. So keep that in mind when you scale these. That's all I got.
Great job.
Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Joaquin.
Good job, Joaquin.
All right,
Nice
let's
job,
go back
Joaquin.
to Eddie, and then let's see, Eddie, you still here with us?
Yeah, I'm on the I'm on my other channel. I'm right above you. I'm up here. Hello, that's me. Let me pop up over here.
Oh, there you are. Got you.
All right, yeah.
I
I
got
left
you.
the deck because mosquitoes didn't understand.
No worries.
All
About
right.
to carry you off.
Yeah, that was a good demo. That really was a good demo, Joaquin. And there was a lot of points that were made in there. And for beginning turners, sort of pay attention to some of those points. One was don't overstand useful work. Saying useful work. Hard work, stand to your heart's content. I mean, just go nuts. But if it's going to be used in the kitchen, think about long term. You know, the first time it's used is a pestle or whatever, or a cutting board or a mat or whatever, it's going to get some abuse. So don't put a finish on it that can't handle the abuse. So he did just that. Well, he put a finish on it that will handle the abuse. Number two, he's just like me. My hands like somebody's got we got an audio problem here, folks.
Fixed.
Okay, thank you. Put a finish on it that you can work with. Because my wife was getting on me about you should wear those plastic gloves when you do this and mix that. I'm eating it. I can mix it with my hands. It's okay. But just besides that, I can't hold those tools and work with them with those goofy looking plastic gloves that they have. So I got to leave them a little bit rough, a little bit raw. And what do? I'll oil them up. I'll leave them kind of rough and I'll oil them up. And it works perfect. Then you get to the store in the mall where they sell that kitchen stuff. Theirs are done the same way. They're not slick as glass, and they're oiled up and finished up so you can grab onto them and work with them. So some good tips there. And then we had to pull out the laser. I knew it was coming. Yes, and Louisiana Hopper Guy does do some nice work. Didn't really understand our guidelines when he came on here to talk about us. That was a couple of years ago. But lasers are a new way to embellish your work. It's interesting. Play with it. I still got mine. I'm holding on to mine. It's going to probably go to one of my grandkids because it's fun to play with and fun to add art to your work. And it's almost unlimited what's happening. And before you buy one, do some serious shopping. I mean, serious shopping. And don't let this drive you, because a little bit more of these gets you a whole lot more of that. Because if you get married to that dollar, you're married. All right. So we had a pretty good time tonight. I think we had a great demonstration. We always have good demonstrations from our members. And remember, these are all put on by members as volunteers. This is all free. I mean, you're seeing these turners, and these turners do professional work for us and for you, and they sell their work. They take them to art shows, art crafts, galleries, all that. So this is workable art that you can use and you can sell. And he gave you a couple of tips, even a marketing guideline for when you want to sell them. So play with it a little bit. Hope it works for you. If you develop a project like this and you like to share it with the world, worldwidewoodturners.org, right here on Wednesday evenings, all you have to do is tell us. You go in a chat and say, I'd like to do a demo on such and such. Put your contact information. Dane Channel will contact you. We'll set something up. I mean, tonight, Matt Harbour came up with this. I want to be kind about this. Matt, I'm kind about this. Goofy looking finial. Okay.
Works for me, Captain Eddie.
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, and my wife was sitting here the other day looking at it and she said, how did he twist that? She's thinking you took that material and twisted it. You cut that material thin, like something Ruby would do. Cut it thin and you shaped it, with steam and heat and all that other stuff. And she wouldn't believe that you cut that, routed it out using a Dremel tool or an NSK or whatever, and then shaped it, sanded it out, came out really fine. You're going to do that for us 2 weeks from today. On October the 4th, that demonstration will be available here. We don't buttonhole people. If something like life comes up and gets in the way and we got to postpone it, we will. That's the beauty of Worldwide Woodturners. We work with life and we do wood turning, but we'll show you how to do that.
Let me share an amusing anecdote with you, Captain Eddie, about these things. When I did this demo on Sunday, while I was doing the demo, while I was carving this out live on the demo, one of the guys in the audience asked me if I was using wet wood so I could warp and twist this.
That might have been one of Ruby's friends. Yeah, that might have been one of Ruby's friends came in to do that.
Well, and my short answer is this is a lot better done with dry wood because you don't gum up your sandpaper or your drill carbides or whatever. So,
and you have more control over the material.
Yeah, you're right.
God did us a great favor. Wood moves.
Yeah.
And the greener wood, the more it moves. So if you control the movement, you're half a step ahead. You're never a full step ahead. But when you control it, that's it. Like I did 88 cowboy hats in my career. And all of them, I had one that the wood wasn't of the right moisture. All those hats, one, the wood wasn't the right moisture density. It was a piece of pecan, and that hood never did shrink. And you dropped it on your head, it went down about right here, over the ears. I mean, it was monstrous. And it was sized the same size that did all the rest of them. They came down in size. And I figured pecan's going to move as a fruit wood. It'll move down quick. Well, it took the right shape. The corners came up. The tail and wing and tail went down. The crown shaped up nice. Just did change size. So you never get a full step ahead. So when you're doing something like these finials or anything else that's art, you always have to consider what the material is. We saw a couple of really nice pieces turned out tonight by Ruby, and they were done with wood that was not quite dry or seasoned. And then she kept adding the moisture and controlling the moisture and the heat, got them to warp up nicely and shape up nice. That's what wood does when you can control it. And you have to control it. That's the key. All right. If you got something to add to our gallery tonight, just put it in. I have something to show, and we'd like to see it. Get our brains working, get some ideas going on. We still have stickers. Stickers are this. The club made an investment, and the club, yes, made an investment, bought some stickers. We still have about 1,000 of them in stock, and these are about 3 inches in diameter, and they stick on everything. And we want to get them on every single demonstration lathe in the world. So every club lathe in the world, we want to get one on. And that's important to us. But we sell these stickers to you, our members, $5 for a package of 10. That's 10 stickers right here. And all 10 of them come to you in one envelope, number 10 envelope for $5. Details are on the front page of our website. That includes the freight and everything else. If it's international, we ask you to add an extra $1 to the payment just so we can cover the freight and get them to you. And Colin, you asked if I can get you some for your club in England. And yes, I think you said Sussex. But we got the address. We're working on it. We're going to get them packed out and get them to you. We're trying to get the word out about worldwidewoodturners.org. You can help us. We had like 85, 86 people in tonight. Well, 90 something at one point. I'm too busy watching the demonstration, looking at all those numbers and stuff. This was good. Joaquin had me going, and he was good. And he showed tonight how the different grinds on his tools made different cuts for him to turn those rounds. I found that a long time ago. Those different grinds and relieving the back of the grind, getting rid of the heel that you don't use, will help you turn those corners and you better control them. And one thing I did like what Joaquin snuck in there, he said he kicked that scraper up on a heel. He kicked it up on the edge and came out for a really fine little pass. I've been told for 25 years, don't ever do that to a scraper. It's abusive. I've been telling you for 25 years. You do that to a scraper, and you're not being fair to the wood. That light little pass up on a heel. And I mean, you're riding the scraper on the tool rest like this. This is soft.
The only way to use one.
You soften that corner. It's rounded out. It's smooth as baby's butter. And you put it on there, and you're riding it like this. You say, but they say we're running flat. Who's they? Who wrote the rule? You know, think about it. It's riding up here, and the control is right here. The control is your muscle memory. So you're controlling it. So if you get a slight catch, your muscle memory is going to react to that catch, and you're going to go past it. But if you're here and you get a slight catch,
it's going to dig in.
Relief. Where's the relief going to come from?
Right, there is none.
There's no. So here it is. It's in the control. The control is here. That's where it's supposed to be. That's where it's been forever. So let's not rely on the tools to do all the work. Let's put a little bit of something right here.
Right.
And you make that little light pass. Light pass. That scraper should be just like, and that's what it should sound like coming across. It's a scrape. It's a light, super light pass. It takes the place of maybe 4 different grits of sandpaper. That's your 60, your 80, your 120, and your 180. Maybe up to your 220 cut. Because you're slicing off the material. You're not abrading it away. You're not pushing it in, bugging it off. You're slicing it. And as Mark Slay would always tell you, a wood slicer is much better than a wood turner any day of the week. We haven't heard from Mark this week. I hope he's doing well. He was all bragging about being able to move his arms and almost dancing. He had a little setback. But like all the others, you kick ass and you keep going. Pardon me. That's what you do. All right. We're still collecting Freedom Pens, friends. Freedom Pens is a collection. This will never, ever stop. Freedom Pens is an important part of what we do. Why is that? Today I was at physical therapy and a guy came up. I had my old Vietnam veteran hat on, the one Ron Radliff gave me. Yeah, Ron, that old raggedy thing goes to the pool with me every day. Got my piss pot on it and all my decorations. And I get sunburned too easy. So I gotta wear a hat. And I was out there and a guy came up. We talked a little bit about different things happening in the world today, politics. And but he said, hey, let me start off with saying thank you for protecting my freedom. That's what Freedom Pens is about, folks. We're thanking people who give up a lot, work for crumbs, and endanger their lives to protect your freedom. And it doesn't matter what country you're in, or where you live, or what your politics is. Somewhere, somebody's doing just that. They're out protecting your freedom. Somebody's giving up their life or putting it on the line. Theirs and their whole family, the whole way of life, to protect your freedom. So what we asking? We're asking if you turn a pen, just a simple pen. It can be a kit pen from Penn State or Turnings or one of those other groups, or it can be a non-kit pen, one of my 12-cent pens I have a video on my website, or anything else that's a pen, or get a gizmo that you can give somebody. You are giving that troop, be it Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, any other groups, and even in your other countries, you're giving them something from you, saying thank you for doing what you're doing. It's that simple, isn't it? You got a few minutes? Spin a pen, send it. Where to send it? Go to our website, the world's greatest website on woodturning, worldwidewoodturners.org. Freedom Pens. We got the names and the address of where to go. Doug Rose out there tonight. I saw him pop in and pop out. He had a wig on. He's collecting pens to send some of his troops. See, Doug's now a school professor, but Doug at one time, history a long time ago, was in the Army. Had to get rid of him, age thing. But he collects pens and gives them to active troops on their way out to protect our freedom. And we support Doug with his mission. He's got one. We have private at the Marine Corps that collects them, and they give them away to graduates of the Marine Corps basic training. I think that's the Camp Lejeune. But their contact, yeah, we have contacts at the Coast Guard, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. All these folks have their contacts on our website. So if you pick your service that you want to support, you can pick it, send them on to them. But I asked you to turn one pen. You don't have to listen to me. You can turn as many as you'd like, as many as you want. Because you know what? They're all out there wanting to be happy. And we should thank them. Doug says his address is right there in the chat right now. I don't, you know, when I started this thing 208 weeks ago, I had to ask some friends, is this a viable idea to sit down and talk wood turning on Wednesday nights? And one of the friends I asked was an Army sergeant I met right here on the internet, Sergeant Doug Rowe. And I said, do you think this is a good idea? And he was active duty. And he says, you know what? If you can get together with folks, just flat out have fun and talk and not be encumbered by the dollar, membership fees, requirements, rules, and all that, go for it. And we did just that. We went for it. We've had a ball, really have. Now it's cost me a lot of sleep because, you got to picture this guy, Doug's a pretty good sized Army guy, and he's showed up in a wig and a bikini and some other things and
a bunch of other stuff.
I get professional help for this. It's weekly basis, and they tell me
I do what I can for you, Eddie. I do what I can for you.
Yeah, they tell me this will go away. Proper drugs, and I'm getting over it. So,
well, hey Eddie, speaking of which, Professor
speaking of who?
Is here. Well, the
professor is aboard.
He is here. Let's go see what he's got to show us this week.
What's up, Lois? Late.
Look at me. I'm just chilling on the couch.
You slacker.
Actually, I will show y'all something though, because this is pretty cool.
I know you got something.
So let me flip the old camera around. Since we're talking about freedom pens, bada boom, bada bing. Doug Miller sent me several. He sheathed them up. I don't know if that's the proper term, but it sounds cool. He sheathed them up, and look at those bad boys. And he sent me several. They are beautiful. Again, like Eddie said, any size pen works. These ones are great because they fit right in the pocket so easy. And so these are gonna go to an infantry company that's getting ready to, well, first they gotta go to what's called their mobilization station. It's basically an active duty post. They gotta hit a bunch of benchmarks, and then they'll jump across the pond and go do what they do. But so these ones, I'm hoping to get their APO address of their final destination and get them off. I'll mail them in November. And with the whole process, the soldiers should get them in time for Christmas. That's the plan. So I'm just gonna keep the stockpile going as y'all send them to me. And then probably early to mid-November is when I will be boxing them all up and getting them off to their first sergeant, who will then distribute them overseas to his men.
There should have been a note in there too.
There is. Each
Okay,
one, you put a
good,
note in every single one of them. I mean, right
Okay.
down in there. Yep.
All right, good, thank you.
And they are beautiful, Doug Miller. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thanks, Doug. That means a lot.
It's just my little thank you.
And then I guess, did you guys want me to go grab a bikini and put that on real quick, or?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
okay. I'm just
we're
checking
good.
because I'm a
We're
team
good.
player. I'm here for you guys.
We'll pass. You know, we
Is that
already
a-
got it on. It's already on YouTube.
That's a scary
Already on
thought.
YouTube.
Oh,
All right. Thanks, Doug.
you bet. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. All right, let's go to Wisconsin. Hey, Scott.
Hey. So I was playing around this week with something I have never done before. So I made a little vessel with some feet on the bottom.
And there's
So that's
three
my
of them.
first, 3 of them. First time making feet. Thanks for your help, Dane. Dane helped me out
Oh,
with it
you're
a little bit. This is a piece of spalted willow. It's very soft. It's not very
Oh, I
nice,
bet.
and it's not very nice for turning. It just doesn't turn well. It's almost too soft. So that was
Is it
one
kinda
project.
Scott, is that kind of stringy?
Yeah,
No,
strange.
it's so this piece, Doug, was probably 25, 30 years old when it was cut down,
Mm.
and it's like powder dry. It just wants to, it doesn't really even give you shavings. It gives you more dust than shavings, even with an
Okay.
extremely sharp tool. So
Yeah, okay.
it if you use some wood hardener on it or soaked it with CA, I did do that in a few places just to keep the tear out, and then it turned pretty nice. Otherwise,
Okay.
it didn't turn very good at all. It actually sanded better than it turned.
I wonder if it was
So-
just too dry.
I think it was just too dry. If you use some stuff that was a little greener, it would probably work better.
Yeah.
So then I cut some popple trees down about a month or so ago, and they were laying around, and I looked at them and I said, I got to make something. So here's what I came up with.
Pretty cool.
So it's a
Oh, man.
snowman, sort of, with a walnut cap.
Walnut top cap.
And a top
Oh,
cap,
it's-
yep.
You could add a couple of googly eyes on either side.
Yeah.
That would finish it off.
That I would love to do that, but this is, my wife claimed it, and she doesn't even like that I put a nose on it. She just wanted it just the way it was without a nose. Well, I think a snowman's got to have a carrot nose. So
I was gonna say, Ruby has her snowmen and that, I mean, excuse me, her Santas, and now you have snowmen.
yep.
Yeah.
And the second one's on the lathe. They showed this to the lady that's going to be doing our shirts, and she requested 3 of them. So I'll be busy this week.
Oh, wow. They
There
are
you go.
cute. They are cute.
Spot on.
And she
Spot
wants googly eyes, so it'll have googly eyes.
There you go.
Make a trip to Hobby Lobby or Michael's.
I don't even have to do that. I just got to go down to my wife's card shop and start doing a little shopping on my own.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I've got bags of googly eyes that I bought for putting on friends' plants and stuff that I'm delighted to have an opportunity to use them in the wood turning here.
Yep. I go raid her card shop because she uses them on some of her cards. So I'll go. I'll go raid her stash. You won't even know they're gone. She's got so many.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's
That's
great.
all I
Look
got
forward
for
to
this
seeing
week.
it. All right, thanks, Scott. All right, let's go see what Gary's got going on. Hey, Gary.
Yeah, howdy. Okay. I was, what is this? Unmute to start. Okay.
Oh, we got you.
Yeah, we had our meeting Monday, my club meeting that I'm a member of, and we had a demonstration on bowl. Oh, good grief! I can talk. Where you cut blanks out of bowls out of different sized wood, so you'll end up with 1, 2, or 3 bowls cut out of the
You're
same.
coring. You're coring.
Yeah, coring. Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. Anyhow, I got this big old hunk of pecan, and I turned it. If you can see the grain, it's real pretty.
Beautiful.
It's very subdued grain, and that's it is real pretty. I'm well known in my club for having, 1/2 inch or even a little bigger than a 1/2 inch bottoms on the bowl, and I have a real hard time turning a bowl down to 1/4 inch. This thing is a perfect a little bit bigger than an 8 all the way around, including the bottom. So it came out really, really nice. I was real pleased with it.
Oh, well done.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lucky.
Pecan turns really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed turning it. It was easy to turn. Okay, about a year, last Christmas, I made up
I remember
14 of these rolling pins.
rolling pins.
This was number 14. And I turned 13 of them, and I was very careful, and I was very conscious of what I was doing, and they came out really great. Guess what happened on number 14? Because I got sloppy, I got one heck of a catch. And I wasn't paying attention. It totally it. I just wasn't paying attention. And I had the 3/4 long, and it's a 3/4 inch stub on the end that you use for turning. Well, it broke, split one end. And I always keep going back to what Captain Eddie says, if you can hold it, you can turn it. Well, I was turning one thing with a live center, and it wouldn't come out of my tailstock. I took a knockout rod and pushed it in. Dadgum, the little pin in that live center came flying out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I guess I knew it, but it never penetrated my mind. The cup on that live center is exactly, or at least the one I used, was exactly 3/4 inch in diameter. And I could put this split nub in that cup. And so I was finally, this has been sitting on my bench broken for the 9 months. And I was finally able to finish turning it. And I just was tickled pink that I kept it, and that I finally figured out how to hold it and turn it. So anyhow, that's what I got. That's it.
Good job. You found the solution.
Yeah. But anyhow, thank you.
Wow.
Did you find your point from your cup center?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. That's what I was concerned about.
When it came out, that was my first concern. Am I going to step on this sharp point?
Right. Well, just so you had it, so you could put it back in, so you had a live center.
Yeah, I found it. And
you
put
can
it
make
back
another
in.
rolling pin. You can throw that away. I was concerned about that. Right on. Good to know, Gary.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for sharing, buddy. All right, let's see. This guy just got a camera, and he's looking forward to showing his piece off. Jim, we got you now, buddy.
All right.
Been a while. And you're muted. Now we got you. Oh, you're still muted.
I don't think he's muted. He has to set the mic correctly.
Oh, is that what it is, Matt?
Yeah, because when he's muted, it shows up on the screen.
Right. Uh-oh.
Yeah, what you do is you go into the microphone icon and you pick a proper sound source.
Well, we can see you though, so you can hold up whatever you want to show us.
Okay, no, okay.
There it is.
Snowman.
Very good.
Oh,
Oh.
that looks
That
great.
is awesome.
That's great. Can't hear it. We can't hear you, but we can see it. Looks great.
I like
Hey,
the
Matt.
arms on it.
Hey Matt, can you do me a favor and send him some text messages on what to do on setting up his mic?
I will try to do that. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Cool little lidded pot right there. That's awesome.
Actually,
Yeah,
he
it's
can
very good.
you could probably talk him through it right now.
And look at that friction
Matt?
fit. That was awesome.
Yeah, Jim, what you have to do is you've got to go to your microphone icon and there's a little caret next to it and you select the microphone from there. You select what a microphone that works.
So where you see the microphone on the bottom left of your screen, there's a little arrow going up. If you click on that arrow, then it'll give you a choice of things to take your microphone from.
And it'll probably be showing your camera, the
Yeah,
camera
but
name.
but just pick a different microphone than the one you're using because the one you're using isn't functional for some reason.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, there you got it.
All right. So, yeah, this was,
Yay.
I came across some, I watch a lot of YouTube videos because there's no clubs around here. And came across a guy named Matt Monaco and liked a lot of the stuff he did. And he made a lot of these little boxes. So I ended up making a bunch of them.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good.
Nice.
Very
Matt was
nice.
at SWAT like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So
Very
this one,
nice.
used some transient dye on it. The color's not showing up real
Oh,
good.
it looks good.
Yeah, I'll save some for next time too. So I've got 3 years worth of stuff to go through.
Great.
Hey,
Jim.
Jim, show that snowman again.
Okay.
He's cute.
Yeah,
Just
good
tell-
proportions on them.
Tell
Did
us what
you-
you did to him.
Yeah, did you paint his buttons in the front and his
Yeah,
eyes
I
and
painted the buttons and then put on twigs
uh-huh.
and painted a carrot nose. This is from a piece of the cedar log. There's a lot of Amish people around. And the first thing I got was some cedar logs. And this was the last thing I made out of a cedar log too.
He's very adorable.
Where are you from, Jim?
I live up.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, you froze up.
Yeah, we lost video again,
Yeah.
sound.
There it is.
There it is. You're back.
Now you're back.
Where you from? You froze up.
Yeah, I live up north in Michigan, between West Branch and Houghton Lake.
Oh, wow.
I know right where that is.
Yeah, so do I.
I was just going to say, it sounds cold.
You might want to check out the Grand River Woodturners Guild.
He's nowhere close to them.
Yeah, I'm more
Ruby.
central. Grand River is going to be over by Lansing or Grand Rapids, isn't it?
Well, you're 3 hours from Grand Rapids from where you
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Used to live in Saginaw.
Yeah, I grew up in Flint.
Yep. My aunt, she lives in Standish, Pinconning.
Yeah.
I did a short temporary assignment at K.I. Sawyer, and I was so glad when the bird left off to where I was on it to leave it. So,
well,
What is hanging back there behind your head?
Pardon me?
I said, what's hanging back there behind your head? Is that a demonstration of you can't ever own too many clamps?
They're all chisels and gouges.
Oh, chisels and gouges.
I
That's
did
what it
some-
is back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Another
some
demonstration
carving
that
for
you
a
can never
while.
have too many. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
lot of
Right
chisels.
on.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, Jim. I'm glad you got your camera sorted out. I'm glad we're able to finally see you after, the last several meetings. And of course, you've been active on Facebook, and I really appreciate that. So
Yeah.
welcome.
Welcome,
Thank
Jim.
you.
Yeah, welcome,
I'm-
Jim. Good to have you make it.
Thank
Yep.
you. And,
Welcome, Jim.
we'll keep coming to the meetings.
Yep.
All right,
I got some
sounds
other stuff
great.
to show next time.
Maybe we'll
Sounds
run
good.
into each other.
I'm sorry.
Said maybe we'll run into each other one day.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth to Kalkaska from Detroit, so you're on my way.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah, I'm
go.
out
There's
of
a
them.
meetup.
There,
Have coffee,
That's
swap wood.
that's not unintentional. I grew up in Flint. And I like up here. I like to be away from all the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Got a lot of pine trees up where you're at.
Yeah, there's some maple, and I haven't. You can't find anybody that has a tree come down and say, "Come and get it." Everybody, if they got a tree come down, they want to sell it.
Yeah.
So it's hard
Sell
to
it.
get wood up here.
Sell it and cut it up for their wood stove.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I've got friends who are not too far from you, Jim, who have an arrangement with guys who are logging, and basically they've made them a couple of pieces, and occasionally these guys will do things like dump a drum truckload of burls in their front yard and stuff.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, you just got to meet the right people. Meet tree trimmers or loggers or something, and somebody who's working in the national forest up there.
Yeah. Well, I was
just
thinking
find
about,
some.
thinking
Matt,
about
it sounds
getting
like
with,
you need to pass his name off.
I was thinking about getting with some of
Look
the
out
guys
for
who
another Turner.
do the firewood and ask them to give me fresh stuff, not seasoned, and just cut it into lengths and let me take care of process.
Well, one of most of those guys who do firewood, they have a place where they do it, so they're getting the logs from somebody else, or they're a tree trimming business themselves. And what you want is once a month, let me walk through your wood lot and see what you got.
Yeah.
And then you can pick and choose and then they don't have to cut it up. You know what I mean? So that they don't feel like, they're doing work for you for free, and you can give them some free pieces, and, they're getting something out of it. And that's, because then you get a chance to look for the cherry and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That I haven't seen any cherry around here.
Well, I know it's because the guy I know lives near Tawas, and I know that he's getting is cherry burl. So I know it's along the Asable in the national forest there. So it's in there. You just need the right connection, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep looking.
All right, well, good luck, man.
I've got enough to keep me busy.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Joaquin.
Yeah. About 10 years or more, I remodeled my kitchen and built the cabinet drawers out of 1/2-inch Baltic plywood, a 9-ply, not a single void in any of it, and decided to make an emerging bow out of it.
Wow.
Nice.
That's nice,
Joaquin.
Nice.
I wanted this to be the front. I wanted to see all that, but when I glued it to my waist block, and I wasn't paying attention, but it's been sitting in the shop for about 6 months, just now finishing it. And so I was going through my stuff, and I found a bunch of tubes, these 3/4 by 6-inch long tubes. I said, well, you haven't made one of them bud bases yet, you might as well do it. And so I don't know what the wood is, fogwood, just a little old bud vase.
That's got a nice shape to it.
Yeah.
Very
Great.
nice.
Great shape.
One thing you want to do, though, I've learned from the past, you want to put a piece of tape on here. You put it in the gallery, people going to look at the bottom, and then you hear a crash on the floor. And even in the house, you need to do something to wedge this in or put just some Scotch tape over the top of it to save that down. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good advice.
Yeah. That's all I got tonight.
I like
Thank
your
you.
shirt.
Thanks, Joaquin.
Like your shirt, Joaquin.
Yeah.
I just like it, Joaquin.
I think you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with one on swatting. I thought we ought to have one.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right.
Super.
All right. Go to Howard. Hey, Howie.
Oh, hello. About to fall asleep.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't give you enough fair warning there.
Yeah, I hate to follow Joaquin, man.
Oh
You
man.
might want to go ahead and skip me or something.
I'm
I
glad I
don't know.
don't
But
follow
anyway,
you.
No, I've
Oh,
seen
no.
what you put out this
Oh.
week, Howard. You can't duck
It's
this.
getting-
But you've
it's
made some
starting to
nice
get
work.
I stopped wearing my watch, a couple years ago because of y'all.
Uh-oh. This is a hollow form made out of maple burl, and I don't know if y'all can see what's in there or
Looks
not.
great. Yes.
But
Very nice.
Yeah. Nice grain.
yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
I really
wood?
like this grain right up here. I don't know if you
Mhm.
can see it very well.
Right.
Right through. But anyway,
I
it's
see you
up
put
there.
a sawdust vent on the side.
pardon.
I see you have a sawdust vent on the side.
Oh yeah, well I got several. I got one here, got one there,
Yeah.
and that really helps,
Yeah.
when you hollow it out, because it's come flying out.
What did you say the wood was, Howard?
It's maple burl.
Man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And then several years ago, a guy brought a huge teak burl to me, and I've been cutting it up, making things out of it. So this is teak, and so I made a little goblet out of it. I don't know if you can see it, not a live edge.
Mhm.
That's not so
Anyway, that's-
little. That's kind of large. That's a good
Well,
size drink. I like that
well-
wine glass.
Yeah. When you're drinking wine, you want something that big.
You do.
Oh, anyway, I just I keep thinking that the base is a little bit too small for it. What do y'all think?
No, I think
You're
it's
fine.
good.
You're
I
fine.
think it's good. It
The
would work
base
for
is not my
me.
concern when I'm drinking the wine. It's the
I was
size of
gonna
the
say, it
cup.
would work for
So you're
me. I
good.
wouldn't see the bottom very often.
Yeah.
About three of these drinking wine, it'll fall over, wouldn't it? Because you keep knocking it over.
Hey,
I'm
Howard, when
thinking
I
with a
first,
size that cup or a cup that size, I only had one glass, just one.
There you go.
That's it.
That's
It's
why I make the
beautiful.
bases. That's why I make the bases bigger so they're not so tippy with lots of wine in them.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that was so small,
Well, you just
I had
hold on.
a bunch of
That's why you
small
hold on. That's
pieces
why you
that I
make-
had cut out.
That's why you make the
And I
stem
just-
long enough to hold on to.
There
There
you
we
There
go.
you go.
It
Right
works.
there.
It works.
Missed
It's
it.
perfect.
That ain't being tipped over.
That's very manly, you know.
hey,
we
Howard,
go.
when I first started, I was making wine bottle stoppers. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell them. What's wrong? They said, I don't need a stopper for a wine bottle. It's empty.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
They
my
look
problem
pretty.
too. That's my problem.
That's why I stopped making them.
Uh,
It's
All right,
just a
that's all I
gimmick.
got. Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Howard. All right. Let's go to, let's see. We got a rerun here. I think he said he wanted to show something else. Doug, you still there?
I'm still here. Yep. Yep.
You're on
Yep.
a
Yep. Yep.
different.
I hear
Yeah,
him.
I'm not on the co-host one. I'm on the other one.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, you just make things so impossible.
I'm sorry.
There you
I
are.
hear you.
Okay.
There we are.
Well, yeah, we can hear him. I just
Oh.
gotta find him. Come on now.
Yeah, we're good. This is the lid that from that bowl that I showed you last week. Got the tenon taken off of it. You can see very
Was this for
clearly.
the Oriental, the
Yes, this was the
hashtag-
Oriental bowl. Yeah,
hashtag thing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
nice. You can see the knob on it there. But I
Yeah.
had to basically redo the top. While I was doing the bottom, I had it over on my big bowl lathe with the vacuum system on it, and that lathe it's laid down on me. And then trying to fix that, I accidentally hit the kill switch on the vacuum. This
Oh.
dropped off. I've got a chip in the rim right there. It's just a minor one.
Don't
It
stress.
was just enough to give it just a little character actually, but it
Yeah.
also messed up really all of my finish that was on here. So I redid it, and so it's not a save really, but I did have to redo the finish, but it really just gave it a bit more character.
It looks great.
It's beautiful. I think
Thank
it's
you.
gorgeous.
Looks good. Is
I
that
like
lacquer finish?
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
that
lacquer finish.
okay?
It's
Yeah.
got 15 coats.
Wow.
Whoa.
Is it a spray on, a rattle can, Doug? or
Rattle
is it
can, rattle
rattle
can.
can? Wow.
4 coats, sanded with 320, 4 more coats, 320 again, 4 more coats,
Oh
the
my word.
320, and then 2 final coats just to finish it off. So 14 coats of lacquer.
Oh my word. Oh my
But it
word.
gives it some depth, and I could take it, take 320 to it right now. It'll be fine. It still has to cure. I put the last coat on it. I don't know, about 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So it's
Yeah.
still got curing to do, but it's for all intents and purposes, it's done.
It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Do you
Thank
have
y'all.
your base for it there?
I don't it's in the other room.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's really, I remember the bowl. I love the
Yeah.
bowl.
The bowl's just basically a normal bowl with
No, it
a
is. The
black.
paint is gorgeous.
Yeah,
The
it's
dye
black on
is
the
gorgeous.
outside. Has a little, about a 1/2 inch foot on it, and this just sits on the top with a little bit of the natural rim showing or just around the lid. So
Mhm.
anyway,
Hey,
that's
Doug,
it.
can you show the bottom of it? I missed it. I was
Yeah, I'll go
busy.
get it. I'll go
Next-
get it.
No, on your lid there. No, your lid.
Oh, the bottom of my lid. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Bing.
sorry.
So you can see.
Ding.
It's
Yep,
it's
okay.
a piece of 2x8, I think it is.
Wow.
So
That's an
Yeah,
amazing.
I don't know
yeah,
what
that's the
those 2
piece.
holes were, but
Yeah, that's the piece you were working on last week when you and I talked, right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah, okay.
I showed it to everybody last week. But like I said, taking the tenon that was in here off, the whole project kind of flew to pieces. But we recovered and got it done. Had to come up with some different ways of holding it. One was while it was this way, I had to bring it over here to this lathe, use a soft touch, worked it down, sanded the finish on it, and then had to refinish all the top.
Wow.
So anyway, if you
Well
can hold
worth-
it, you can turn it.
Wow. Well worth the effort.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Right on, right on. All right. Well, that does it for gallery tonight. If I
I
missed
think
anybody,
if Jim
now forever
Duxbury's
hold your
still on, he has something, I think.
yeah, Jim's already gotten off.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Thanks for looking out there.
Yeah.
I have one thing, Dane, I wanted to show. It's only going to take 2 minutes because
Just
I really
Sandy?
want
Okay,
some
I
advice.
got you.
You
I
got me?
got you.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, I just got back into turning because of the eye problem. And
Right.
anyway, I've been working with some branches. I had some branches of holly that were cut about, I don't know, 2+ years ago or something like that. I was drying them. So the first one I did came out okay. I needed a new pencil cup. So I made a
Wow.
pencil cup and did some decorating because I enjoy doing that and I can do that. And you can see the striations, the colors that I was dealing with these branches.
That
So-
looks really nice.
Oh, thanks, Ruby. So I started to, I said, okay, now I can do a box. So it's a pretty good sized box and it's the same branch, but I was running into all the off branches coming out of there. And they would come flying out and I'd go and retrieve them and glue them back in because I wanted that to be there. And so it came out okay. I'm pleased with the box, but my question is, do you think I should embellish it? Should I dye it? Should I paint it? Should I burn it? Or should I just
I wouldn't
leave
paint it. It's beautiful the way it is. I mean, some embellishment, sure, but I would not cover that beautiful wood with paint. No
Well,
way.
you know, yeah, I was even thinking some dye.
Sandy,
and then
I
thought
would
about
dye it.
photography.
You,
I would dye that all day long.
Yep.
I would
you
do
could
that.
make a little, you could make a little knob finial and
I
put
would
it to the
I
top.
would double or triple dye that. Yep.
You would?
100%.
That's
Well,
what I
you
was
you
thinking
guys,
too.
I mean, it's your choice, Sandy. I wouldn't. I really like the wood knobs and so on. I think those are very cool. I mean, maybe I like Ruby's idea of a small knob on top. And I
Right.
would do something like come back and maybe put some very subtle wood burning on the top or something like that. But I really like the wood, like that with that all the knots. But it's up to you, of course.
I know.
I agree, Matt.
Oh, gosh, this is, I was thinking, I'm just gonna not do anything until Wednesday. Because I finished
That's
this
cool, just
Sunday
the way it
evening.
is.
Yeah.
I'd dye it. Send it to me. I'll dye it.
Me too.
I'm with Dane. I'm with Dane. I'd dye it.
Send
Me
it to
too.
me, I'll dye it,
Compromise.
Sandy.
I'll compromise with
And
you.
then I'll send it back.
Okay.
I'll
Well, you
I'll
know-
compromise with you. You dye the inside for Dane, but you leave the
No.
outside just like that for me and Matt.
No,
I'll go
the
along with
outside,
that.
the outside needs to be dyed.
Okay,
That's what
now
I
I'm
would do.
thinking, how far are you from me in Arizona? Because we're leaving, we leave the end of October. Aren't you in Arizona? Aren't you?
Yes. Yep. Tucson.
Yeah, you're in Tucson and I'm in Sun City. So I was thinking, well,
Just paint some pretty little flowers on it.
Well,
no
Yeah.
painting flowers. I was
no,
thinking
no paint. No paint. No
purple and a
milk paint.
blue or an
Yeah,
orange,
blue,
red and yellow.
aquamarine.
That would look cool.
Sandy,
Royal-
I
royal
Sandy, I
blue.
would drive down to Dane's place and have him show you how he does his dyeing technique. I'd go down there and bug him for a day.
Well,
you
that's
go.
what I'm thinking, or else I'll put it in a box and mail it to him and say,
Have at it.
have at it. You go for it. You do whatever you want. But anyway, so I'm looking in underneath my bench here. I have about 5 or 6 more pieces of the branches that I cut up from this tree that fell. So,
I
but this
wanna
is
dye
the
one
first one
too,
that
though.
I encountered that had all, and from the outside of this, you would never known these knots were there until I got in.
Sandy, I didn't know you was in Sun City. So if you're
Yeah.
passing through, why don't you bring me a branch of that tree and I'll make a box like that and dye it and give it back to you.
Yep, we drive down, we leave here usually the last Sunday of October. And I live in in the Pacific Northwest, as you know, outside of
Right.
Seattle, Hood Canal area. But we're down there 6 months. So I can certainly bring you yeah, I got like 3, 4 down there.
Or hell, I could drive up. I don't care.
Yeah, well, you could
I'm
come to
retired
one of the
too, shit.
Arizona meetings. I joined that club down there, but anyway, okay, I'm gonna sit on this
talk.
some.
We'll talk
We'll
offline.
talk about this. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I have, guys. I know
Well,
you're.
we're glad you're back turning.
Oh, me too, me too. I hadn't been to my lathe since I had to leave Arizona early this past year to come back to see this eye specialist, and so I've had a couple of surgeries, but so this is really the last couple of weeks is the 3 weeks probably, and so I'm searching for the muscle memory, and it's coming back.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, so it's amazing how tentative you get, when you haven't been up to a lathe for over 6 months. It's like, okay, be a little careful here.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, but life is good.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'm glad you're back at it. So
Okay, and I'm gonna go to the other side of my shop, on the other side over there, and pull out one of those logs, and we have a shelf that we keep over there, the branches, and stick one on there for you with your name on it, Dane.
all right, sounds good, Sandy.
Okay. Good night, guys.
I'll shoot you a text
Good night.
tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Night, everybody.
Night,
Good night now.
Good night.
All right, Eddie, let's go back to you, Eddie, for closing ceremonies and the demarcation point for the after hours.
Right, we're going to turn the recorder off in a few minutes, but it doesn't stop here. No, this is a fun time because you can talk about anything you want, show any problems you want, ask any questions you want. Remember, it's your meeting because it's your club. Really good tonight. We had some stuff crawl out the closet, including Doug Rowe. But we had a lot of things come out of the closet tonight, and it was an interesting evening. And we invite you to be part of this and remember the rules. There are no rules. You have to be civil, you have to be kind, and you have to be a wood turner. That's it. Want to see you again back in next weekend, Wednesday night. That's when we do it again. And if you need any help, check us out, worldwidewoodturners.org, the world's finest wood turning website, brought to you by the world's finest wood turning club, your club. I'm Captain Eddie. You take care. And above all else, be safe. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night, Eddie.